Another person said, if you're so capable, go help. That's the monster saint realm, if we go, we'll be sending ourselves to death. The two fell to the ground after fleeing, Grandma. The grandmother replied, it's okay, Tian Tian. He can't catch up to us. The grandmother thought to herself, I didn't expect there would be such a monster here. If not for being in a weakened state, we would have probably been in trouble already. The monster had caught up and swung his blade down. The result was that the grandmother was sent flying to the side. Tian Tian could only cry, leaving a last word, woo-woo. I'm sorry, Master. Not only did I fail to avenge you, but I'm about to reunite with you. A huge crash. Then, Su Chang'e picked up Tian Tian, little girl, why are you being disobedient? Didn't I tell you not to run around? Tian Tian still answered in a daze, I really saw Master. It turns out I really died. Su Chang'e smiled gently, silly girl, how could I, your master, die so easily with my great powers? Tian Tian stretched out her hand to gently touch Su Chang'e's cheek, feeling, really, Master didn't die. Su Chang'e replied, of course, Master is a good person, so of course, good things will happen. The little girl innocently pinched Su Chang'e's face, really, I can touch it. Master is really still alive, that's great. Su Chang'e saw this scene and gently pinched her forehead, what's going on in this little head of yours? Tian Tian excitedly threw herself into Master's arms, Master, please don't leave me again, okay? I only have you and Grandma now. The old man who took over your brother's body has already been dealt with by me, but your brother's body couldn't be preserved. Do you blame Master? Tian Tian replied, no, I understand. It's not Master's fault, and Master is even closer than family. The grandmother, who was observing from the side, was also very happy, immortal, that's great. You're okay. Su Chang'e took out a bottle of medicine, this medicine can help Grandma heal her wounds, drink it quickly. The monster returned again, constantly threatening, you all must die. Su Chang'e revealed a sinister smile, oh, half of you are controlled by human runes? Fine, I'll let you put on one more show before we leave. The person observing from this side exclaimed in surprise, what's going on? Why has the aura around the great sage suddenly become so strange? That demonic aura, it's definitely demonic energy. The monster emitted demonic energy all over its body, and such terrifying might must surely be the heavenly demon recorded in ancient texts. I'm afraid this is the great catastrophe of the heavenly gods' realm. We must return and inform all the forces to prepare. Gu Chang'e pointed at the monster and said, evil demons, today I shall rid the heavenly gods' realm of you on behalf of the heavens. The cultivators cheered when they saw this, that immortal is still alive, that's great. Strange, I clearly saw him severed in half last time. Gu Chang'e activated his immortal technique, immortal art, the long rainbow of the other shore. A powerful force surged toward the demonic person, sending them flying. System prompt, host has gained reputation for saving the heavenly gods' realm, luck points increased. When Gu Chang'e returned, Tian Tian immediately ran up to him. Master is the savior sent by the immortal sect to rescue us. Gu Chang'e squinted and smiled, I'm no savior, I'm just an ordinary person. Well, the task is complete, we should return to the upper realm now. Gu Chang'e said to Tian Tian, what are you talking about? The upper realm is originally the place for immortals. But this is just a small part of it. I will take you to more places in the future. Tian Tian responded, Master. We'll be very busy once we return to the upper realm, I won't take up too much time. This child is really sensible. Ah, then let your martial uncle take you to play, she's been quite free lately. Just as they landed, two subordinates immediately saluted, young master, you're back. Gu Chang'e ordered them to arrange a residence for Tian Tian, and they immediately obeyed. Tian Tian looked up at the plaque of Chongqing Gu family. The two gatekeepers whispered to each other, when did the young master leave the Gu family? The other one also looked confused, unsure when the young master had left. They muttered to themselves, I thought he was Bringing the young miss back, why bring a little girl instead? Looks like this child was just brought back. At that moment, in Tiantian's room, she was tasting food she had never had before, excitedly shouting, "Sister, this is so delicious." The maid immediately knelt and begged, "Little ancestor, please don't call me like that, if others hear it, I'll be in big trouble." Tian looked a little disappointed and mumbled, "I understand." The scene shifted to Gu Changa's palace, where he sat in a chair, instructing his subordinate to report the situation. The subordinate immediately reported, "Recently, there have been signs of ancient existences, which has made everyone uneasy. Therefore, the various orthodoxies have discussed and decided to jointly establish the True Immortal Academy, and the Main Immortal Plan will begin soon. They hope that someone can become an immortal in this life to stop the dark heavenly curtain from descending. Also, the heir of the Tianhuang mountain, Tian, is still suspected of practicing demonic arts and has yet to leave Tianhuang mountain. Meanwhile, another heir from the human ancestor hall is traveling, seeking the human ancestor's legacy." Hearing this, Gu Changa couldn't help but sneer when he heard the words, "human ancestor hall's heir." On the other side, someone was enjoying a peaceful time within the Wang family's territory. The maid asked, "Miss, what's going on with the human ancestor hall?" While eating grapes, she replied, "Nothing big has been accomplished, don't want to bother with the small stuff, let's enjoy for now, haha." The subordinate reported to Gu Changa, "By the way, young master, the granddaughter of the emperor of Tianhuang mountain came to visit last time. She waited for many days but didn't see you, so she eventually left." Gu Changa looked surprised, "Oh, so it was Yin Chang's sister. A creature called sister really makes one worry." At this moment, outside the palace, several subordinates saw their young lady return and immediately approached, asking, "Miss Siener is back. Was your journey successful, Miss Siener?" Siener softly answered, "I found my parents." But in her heart, she thought, "It's a pity they still won't come back." The subordinates immediately said excitedly, "Congratulations, Miss Siener." She then took out a storage ring and rewarded several subordinates, saying, "Well, you've all tried your best, not bad, this reward is for you." He thought to himself, "It seems like Miss is in a good mood today, she's usually so strict. She's never this generous." Several subordinates immediately shouted loudly, "Thank you, Miss Siener, for the reward. We will do our best." Siener turned around and asked, "By the way, has my brother returned?" The subordinate immediately replied, "The young master has returned, and he brought back a little sister." Another subordinate also agreed, "She looks very well behaved." Siener was surprised, a little sister, well behaved and cute. She immediately imagined Gu Changa holding the beautiful little sister and thought to herself, "I am Gu Changa's sister, I will only love my brother." Siener was instantly furious, her teeth grinding in anger. She immediately took back the reward ring and said, "Poor guard, no one is allowed to take the reward." The two guards were instantly stunned. She stormed to the door, kicked it open, and shouted, "I heard Gu Changa brought back a sister, I want to see what this sister is like." The maid nearby saw Siener return and nervously stuttered, "Miss Siener has returned." Siener immediately asked, "Are you the maid my brother brought back?" Tian immediately greeted her sweetly and said with a cute smile, "Hello, mistress." Siener was instantly struck dumb, "WH. What did you call me?" The scene switched to the backyard, where Tian, wearing a beautiful dress, ran up to Gu Changa and asked, "Master, do I look good?" Tian likes it so much. Gu Changa smiled and said, "If Tian likes it, that's good." Tian continued to boast, "This was all given to me by the little master." Siener nearby proudly curled the corner of her mouth. Siener smugly said, Tian is so cute, it's really a pity for her to be with you, you even hesitate to give her a beautiful dress, stubborn Gu family, Gu Changa, hearing himself called a stubborn old man, immediately said, "I don't like you calling me that." Regardless of whether Gu Changa liked it, Siener directly took Tian's hand and said, "Let's go, Tian, little master will take you to play." Tian Tian looked at her master in surprise, and Gu Chang'e gently said, "It's fine, go play. Seeing you get along well makes me feel at ease." Gu Chang'e secretly felt pleased. If it's Xiener, she should be able to sense Tian Tian's special nature. Now let's wait for you to take us to see the peach tree behind you. The scene shifted to the Saintess's side. "Fellow Taoists, I will leave here, and next I will visit young Master Gu Chang'e." Everyone replied in unison, "We won't disturb your highness, farewell." She turned to her maid and said, "I have something to discuss with young Master Gu Chang'e, wait here for me." The old woman respectfully answered, "Yes, your highness." At the main gate, two guards couldn't help but sigh. Today, the Gu family's gate is really lively. After entering the hall, she immediately saluted and said, "Young master, I am back." Gu Chang'e replied indifferently, "It's good that you're back, thank you for your hard work." She then said, "During this time, no one has suspected my identity. But unfortunately, I am not the descendant of the human ancestor, so some actions are inconvenient." Gu Chang'e saw this and comforted her, "It's okay, I understand that this matter needs to be handled carefully, so I am worried for you." She was very happy when she heard this. "It is my honor to serve young master." Gu Chang'e continued, "Thank you for your hard work, now take off your clothes." She was surprised to hear Chang'e say this. Seeing this, Gu Chang'e understood the issue and corrected himself, saying, "Ahem, we should return the clothes to the Saintess." The scene shifts to the space where the Saintess is truly imprisoned. Gu Chang'e says, "This is for you." The Saintess responds, "I don't need it. You keep it for yourself." Gu Chang'e smiles and says to Suasua, "You're the heir of the human ancestor hall, how could you not need the human ancestor token? If those old folks from the human ancestor hall find out, won't they be furious?" While putting on the veil, she angrily says, "Shut up. Don't call me Suasua, I don't think we're that familiar." Gu Chang'e looks surprised and says, "Do you want me to call you little darling Suasua? That might not be very good." She is so angry that she can't speak. Chang'e continues, "All right, I came here to tell you that you are free from now on." Suasua is stunned upon hearing this. What did you say?" Gu Chang'e continues, "Isn't this exactly what you wanted? You can become the heir of the human ancestor hall, it has nothing to do with me. But if you want to expose my identity, then think it through." Suasua angrily says, "Gu Chang'e, don't think that letting me go will erase everything you've done. You ruined everything for me, you're an irresponsible bastard." Gu Chang'e coldly says, "Didn't you bring this upon yourself? If you had cooperated with me from the beginning, this wouldn't have happened. Saintess Suasua, you must understand, I'm a demon, sparing you is already mercy." She angrily walks out, and the old woman who follows behind quickly asks, "Saintess, what's wrong?" Suasua still answers angrily, "I'm fine, let's return to the human ancestor hall." The gatekeeper sees this scene and thinks, looks like she got dumped by the young master. The scene switches to the heavenly emperor's palace. A woman hurriedly pushes the door open and rushes in, "Damn. Brother, I heard the Saintess of the human ancestor hall has gone to the Gu family again." The blonde youth is leisurely playing Go and asks indifferently, "Oh. So what? She has legs, if she can't control herself, what tricks are these people playing?" The woman crosses her arms and says in a sharp tone, "Why do the two saintesses from the human ancestor hall get so close to Gu Chang'e? Brother is the heir of the demonic arts, I think something's wrong." The blonde man remains indifferent, "The problem is, I've never met any of them." "Why? Forget it, let them be." The woman in orange asks again, "What are you planning to do next, brother?" "The True Immortal Academy is about to be established, we should go there too." The blonde man thinks to himself, "The True Immortal Academy? Since the birth of the Absolute Sound Heaven, the people there have been involved in exterminating the beings of Absolute Sound. If possible, I don't want to take the risk, but refusing might raise my sister's suspicions." The blonde man stands up and announces boldly, "Sister's right, it's indeed time to find an opportunity to clear my name and let those who doubt me witness the power of Heavenly Emperor Mountain again." The woman in orange looks at the youth in admiration. Brother really has a lot of presence now. It seems like the former sweeping heavenly emperor's son is back. The scene shifts to the bamboo forest. Sienna, are you going? The little girl hesitantly calls out to her little master. Is master so busy every day? The little master leisurely plays with little Tian while answering her question. Usually, we don't even see him. He says he's busy cultivating, but I think he's probably plotting against others every day. Tian squints and smiles. No way. Master is really a good person. He saved me and grandma, and even saved the heavenly god realm. He's the kind of person who's cold on the outside but warm on the inside. From afar, Gu Changa's voice calls out the little girl's name. Tian, how is it? Have you gotten used to living here? Has any fool been bullying you? The little girl happily ran up to Kong Changa and answered, I'm used to it, master treats me very well. Tian and I, seeing the master-disciple pair being so affectionate from a distance, coldly snorted inside, humph, and thought to herself, how petty. Tian innocently asked, why is master here? Kong Changa squatted down and sat in front of her, answering, wasn't I thinking about you? Tian and I, unable to bear being ignored, angrily walked up to Kong Changa and asked, did you see me? Why are you ignoring me? Kong Changa continued with his act, oh, you're here too. I thought some village bumpkin's maid was playing with Tian. Tian and I gritted her teeth, a bumpkin? Kong Changa, I'm going to fight you. After saying that, Tian and I rushed to attack Kong Changa. Tian, standing by, tried to calm her down, junior sister, please calm down. Kong Changa easily dodged Tian's moves and said with ease, as if eating candy, I see you're itchy recently, do you want another beating? Tian and I kicked at Kong Changa and didn't forget to threaten him, who's going to lose is still undecided, don't underestimate others. Kong Changa coldly replied, once you're healed, you'll forget the pain. Look clearly every day, if you don't listen in the future, you'll be beaten like this. With that, he kicked Tian and I 3 meters away. Her face directly hit the ground. She could only scream. Kong Changa kindly explained that this move was called rolling a few circles. After hitting the ground, Tian and I immediately rolled a few circles and then stood up. Kong Changa praised, oh, you're really capable, before you always landed face first. Tian and I was so angry that smoke seemed to come out of her ears, don't you care about my face? Then she immediately used her technique to summon a golden formation, determined to beat Kong Changa down today so that he couldn't get up. This is the dragon trapping formation taught to me by master. Kong Changa looked at the golden formation in front of him and disdainfully said, this is just a little trick. The old men in the village are really not simple, they actually taught Tian and I these tricks to deal with people unlucky enough. Tian and I was still using her moves. She continuously released spiritual energy towards the formation, combined with the speed technique taught by the fourth master. Let's see how long you can keep talking. In the formation, a majestic golden dragon now faintly appeared. Tian and I said, this is the heavenly Tao dragon trapping formation, how about it? Isn't it powerful? Tian, a child who had not experienced much of the world, couldn't help but praise upon seeing the scene, junior sister, you're amazing. Tian and I proudly lifted her head, did you see that, Kong Changa? Now I can stand on my own, I don't need you anymore. Kong Changa casually threw out a magical treasure, instantly breaking Tian's hard-earned formation, and she collapsed like a frog to the side. He covered his mouth and yawned, putting on an act. Then he turned to Tian and said, did you see that? This is what happens to those unprofessional people. The little girl immediately wiped the sweat from her face, Tian will be good. Kong Changa covered his mouth and coughed, these past few days, I've read a lot of books and asked many clan elders. But there's still no clue about your situation. However, you don't need to worry, we will find the reason eventually. Gu Changa stood up and said, this is what I should do as your master. Alright, you two go play, I'll figure something out. Sienna timidly suggested, I always feel that Tian Tian's aura is familiar. Gu Chang'e, why don't you take Tian Tian and me back to Peach Village? There are a few masters there with great power and profound knowledge, maybe they can find a solution. Gu Chang'e retorted, Peach Village is a place even immortals despise. Do they have those mysterious masters you mentioned, and a mystical peach tree? Sienna nodded, yes, I grew up there and cultivated. Sienna thought, as expected, Gu Chang'e knows that place. After all, he has many eyes and ears. Seeing how much Gu Chang'e knew about that place, Sienna was secretly happy, this guy, he's tough on the outside but soft on the inside. He investigated it secretly just to care about me. He still cares about me. Gu Chang'e sighed, you're thinking too much, I'm just afraid they'll come after me for revenge, so I had to investigate it. Sienna patted Tian Tian's head and said, don't learn from him, his words don't match his heart. Gu Chang'e lazily replied, sigh, these days, no one believes the truth. The scene shifted to the Chongqing Wang family, where the holy maiden was lying on a sunbathing chair, listening to the servant's report. You say Jiang Chu went to see Gu Chang'e? That's not something she would do, something feels off. At the ancient Yi clan, a man and a woman were gazing into the distance, conversing. This time, the various major sects are teaming up to establish the true immortal academy. With brother Gu Chang'e's talent, he will surely be qualified. We must ask him about it when the time comes. A long-haired girl named Lioli said with some doubt, could it be the prince from the heavenly emperor realm? The man immediately rebutted, impossible. He has never left heavenly emperor mountain, and besides, the place where the incident occurred is too far from there. Lioli replied, then this must be a method to divert his attention. The man said, it's not impossible, we must proceed with caution. But if we don't see it with our own eyes, it's hard to believe. The man hesitated, devouring the essence of ancient bodies and specializing in strange methods. This is indeed a demonic art. They remembered that while they were talking in the forest, a person in a black robe appeared, radiating a purple aura. He asked the two, who is it? Lioli sighed, what a pity, we can't see his true face. That woman has already escaped. If only brother Gu was there. The man comforted, yes, the upper realm is becoming more chaotic, demons and monsters are emerging. Indeed, we still need brother Gu to hold the situation together. Lioli, this matter is not fully investigated, it must not be spread. After all, the inheritor of that demonic art is too terrifying. On the other side, Gu Chang'e was drifting on the sea, heading to Peach Village with Sienna and Tian Tian. The scene shifted to Peach Village, a place as beautiful as a fairyland. The group was drinking tea and chatting when one person said, has old Five gone to the Sea King's palace to vent? For Sienna. Why hasn't he returned yet? The white-haired elder answered, not yet, this girl has been out for so long and hasn't come back to check. The elder sitting in a wheelchair joked, oh, starting to worry now. The white-haired elder awkwardly stroked his beard and said, worry about what? She's carrying the inheritance of all of us, no ordinary person outside can harm her. The elder in the wheelchair laughed heartily, you're in denial, let's bet, when Sienna comes back. You'll be the first to cry. The old man smoking a pipe also laughed and agreed, yeah, you're the one who dotes on her the most. Surrounded by everyone, the white-haired elder awkwardly said, when I was severely injured and my life was hanging by a thread, I didn't shed a single tear. Cry. I can't cry. Suddenly, a voice of Master was heard, and the elder in the wheelchair said, I think I heard Sienna's voice. The elder smoking a pipe also stopped, I heard it too, it sounded like Sienna. The white-haired elder thought to himself, these two old guys are tricking me, trying to mess with me. You must be imagining things. At this moment, Gu Chang'e and Sienna arrived, and Sienna quickly shouted, Master, second master, third master, fourth master. Huh, is that really the girl coming back? Sienna happily waved her hand, and the four elders were moved to tears. Sienna, woo woo, the white-haired master stepped forward. Let me see, have you lost weight? Have you been poisoned by someone in the martial world? The other masters took turns checking, and the fourth master praised, this girl, getting more beautiful every day. Gu Changa thought to himself, this girl just left Taomeng village not long ago, how come I didn't notice any changes? Tian was still feeling timid. Master, that tree. Gu Changa immediately reassured, don't be afraid, I am here. The master then asked, Sienna, why did you bring a man back? Fourth master scolded, Sienna, you're so silly, have you forgotten what your master taught you? Those handsome men are always the ones who deceive innocent girls. Second master also agreed from outside, that's right, the child is already so grown. Gu Changa heard them mention him, and immediately stepped forward to salute, saying, I, the younger generation, pay my respects to all the seniors, I am Sienna's brother, I hope the seniors don't misunderstand. Tian also stepped forward and saluted, Tian pays respects to all the seniors. Sienna blushed and said, everyone, don't guess wildly, this is Gu Changa. At that moment, the master smiled and said, oh, it's the brother. Indeed it's Gu Changa. That's a good name. Fourth master continued, look, this child even knows how to salute. He has some manners. Haha, it's Gu Changa. Changa. Then the four masters seemed to realize something, their eyes widened and their mouths formed an O shape. What is this? Then the four masters angrily said, you are the bastard who took Sienna's island bone, right? Quite remarkable. You still dare to come here. Is it because you rely on the Chongqinggu family behind you? If so, you're mistaken. Sienna saw the masters getting furious and quickly called out, everyone misunderstood. Let me explain. The Grand Master saw Sienna trying to stop them and said, Sienna, you don't have to be afraid, he won't be leaving today. Yes. Let the masters teach him a lesson and vent your anger. Gu Changa saw this and felt helpless toward Sienna's masters, they can't tell right from wrong. Want to make a move just because we arrived? Since the seniors have such hostility, then there's no need for further words. The four masters became even angrier. This little brat who just reached the Saint Realm has no idea how high the sky is, where does his courage come from? Sienna rushed forward to stop the masters, masters, don't get worked up, things are not as you think. While trying to stop the masters, Sienna scolded Gu Changa, can you say less? Have you forgotten the purpose of your visit? Masters, second master, please listen to me. Sienna then explained everything to the masters, and after a while, the four masters finally understood. The Grand Master then said, so that's how it is, I didn't expect so much to have happened. Sienna, isn't he deceiving you? Sienna replied, third master, do I look like a fool? The masters then agreed, yes, indeed, if he had any ill intentions, he wouldn't dare to come here alone. Suddenly, a voice came, what are you looking at? The masters were surprised when they saw that Lady Yaoji actually spoke to this person. Seeing Lady Yaoji speak to him, Gu Changa calmly responded, nothing. I just feel that the aura of this senior is somewhat similar to my disciple Tian. Lady Yaoji then said, she and I indeed have a deep connection. I can sense her thoughts. Tian stood aside and confirmed, Master, I can sense her, she feels like an older sister to me. Sienna and the masters were also surprised that Tian was related to Lady Yaoji. This was truly a coincidence, and the Grand Master also spoke, does this child have anything special? Lady Yaoji then said to Tian, come over here. Seeing that Tian was a bit scared, she asked the master for his opinion. Gu Changa, seeing this, comforted her, Tian is my beloved disciple. I hope the senior does not have any ill intentions toward her. If so, don't blame me for being rude. Sienna and the others were stunned by Gu Changa's overbearing manner, is this person crazy? Lady Yaoji, seeing this, said, oh, you dare threaten me for her. Interesting. But what is your relationship with Tian Tian? From my intuition, I am naturally connected to her. So you can rest assured. Gu Changde then turned to Tian Tian and said, Tian Tian, you go. A pink aura enveloped the surroundings, and Sienna, seeing this, sighed, I didn't expect Lady Yaoji to separate us like this. Why did she do this just after meeting Gu Changde? The Grand Elder, upon seeing this, said, could there be something wrong with that person? But with Lady Yaoji here, there shouldn't be any major problems. At this moment, Lady Yaoji revealed her true form, and a beautiful woman appeared next to Tian Tian. Gu Changde's eyes were shining brightly. Over here, the fairy noticed, the demonic heart. So that's it. Gu Changde stepped forward and asked, Senior, are you testing me? Seeing this, the fairy immediately said, what? Are you unhappy that I found out? Gu Changde bowed and said, I dare not, Senior. Your abilities are vast, I admire you greatly. Then, Gu Changde secretly smiled, you've been tricked. What you saw was only what I wanted you to see. The fairy continued, has anyone ever told you that your smile is very pretentious? Gu Changde didn't care much and asked, what is Senior doing? Where's Tian Tian? The fairy replied, helping her remove some of the Great Road scars. Anyway, she's like my sister, family. I'll bring Tian Tian back to you safely. If you harm her, I won't let you go. Gu Changde bowed, Senior is joking. I would never bully the weak. The fairy was speechless. Seeing this, she said, you dare mock me. Gu Changde looked innocent, how could I say such a thing? Senior definitely didn't mean that. The fairy laughed loudly, interesting, I haven't met someone like you in a long time. Life will no longer be boring and monotonous. Then the fairy continued, Sienna is also like half of my disciple. If you two have settled things, then no need to say more. As for your demonic heart, I can't help you now. Take this petal to an old man who owes me a favor and give it to him. If he's still alive, maybe he can help you. Gu Changde, holding Tian Tian, took the petal and said, thank you, Senior. Gu Changde was secretly delighted, the opportunity is in my hands, and the harvest is rich. The fairy continued, all right, this is to thank you for taking care of Tian Tian. The other masters also said to each other, let's go. It seems the fairy has accepted that young man. I think he's not bad, already a sage at such a young age. Sienna walked up to Gu Changde and asked, Gu Changde, what did fairy sister tell you? Gu Changde looked innocent, what did she say? What did she say? Sienna sighed at the fairy. Then Gu Changde continued, she said, as your brother, I really have a hard time. I'll tell you, you need to be filial to me in the future. After Gu Changde got the fairy's opportunity, Sienna was very curious. Unfortunately, Gu Changde didn't tell her clearly. And instead joked with her curiosity, making Sienna very angry, you're not telling me. Fine, I'll ask myself. After a while, Gu Changde was ready to leave, thank you all for taking care of and nurturing Sienna. As her brother, I feel very ashamed. If you don't mind, here are some high-grade spiritual herbs and elixirs, please accept them. The others felt awkward but still accepted, Young friend Gu Changde, you're very considerate. We didn't expect you to adapt so quickly and have so much inside information. It's all a misunderstanding, no need to be too nervous. At this moment, Sienna was listening to the fairy sister explain things. I didn't expect the demonic heart to have entangled Gu Changde since birth. It seems that a body carrying the demonic heart needs to suppress the demonic nature to stay clear-headed. When he took your great Tao wisdom bone, maybe it was just the instinct of the demonic heart. Hearing this, Sienna understood, so the great Tao wisdom bone can help him suppress the demonic nature, right? Then Sienna said, if I give him the great Tao bone now, will it still have the same effect as before? The fairy replied, the effect might be poor. After all, demonic nature doesn't remain unchanged. Talking about demonic nature is a long story. Even if both sides try to eliminate it, it may not fully disappear. After hearing the answer, Sienna quickly looked at Gu Chang'e. At this moment, Gu Chang'e was responding to the masters surrounding him. Indeed a talent, young friend Gu Chang'e, do you have a marriage contract this year? Gu Chang'e already has a marriage contract. Young friend, would you like to have a drink? I don't smoke. That's fine. You can marry a wife and concubine. There are many young girls in the village still single. What do you think? Sienna said, I want to help him, no matter how difficult it is, I want to try. The fairy was surprised, Sienna, you. She then approached and shouted, Gu Chang'e is clearly a smart person, how could he make such a mistake in the Nirvana lake? Chang'e, upon hearing this, felt confused, what are you talking about? Are you itchy? Didn't the scolding a few days ago suffice? Sienna then took out a round knife and said seriously, as long as I can give you the Dao bone, I can suppress your demonic nature. What happened before won't happen again. This is my choice, don't blame others. Chang'e and the other masters were stunned upon hearing this. She immediately swung her sword towards her own body and shouted, you need it more than I do. Unexpectedly, Chang'e reacted quickly and blocked her sword, even though his hand was injured. Chang'e angrily scolded, Gu Sienna, what are you doing? What will happen to your foundation if you get hurt? Foolish. If you do this again, I'll throw you into that woodshed. Sienna immediately cried out, you're the fool. Whether or not I have the immortal bone, for me, the round knife quickly fell to the ground. Chang'e quickly hugged Sienna and comforted her, good girl, I'm your brother, there's no need for you to offer your bone yet. She anxiously said, but your demonic heart. Chang'e then comforted her, the demonic heart is weak, I'll find a way to solve it myself. Do you know who Gu Chang'e is? Sienna said, but, and was quickly interrupted by him, no buts, I already spoke with Dao Yao Sr., and she proposed a solution. You don't need to add trouble to me. Chang'e looked at her, worried, thinking, could I have been deceived? The other masters were moved to tears, I didn't expect that Gu Chang'e is such a kind brother, we misunderstood before. This scene is truly the deep bond between siblings. Chang'e then showed displeasure and pushed her away, saying, enough, your snot is all over my clothes. This left her stunned and confused. Sienna then angrily shouted, I don't care about you anymore. Chang'e immediately flew away, leaving the other masters speechless. He politely bowed and said, I have something to attend to, so I'll take my leave. Yao Yao's injury hasn't healed yet, please let her and Sienna stay here, and I ask the seniors to take good care of them. The others then happily bid him farewell, Chang'e, remember to come back and visit, all the elders like you. Chang'e, look at Sienna's expression, she's all flustered the moment you leave. She immediately denied, I'm not. I even hope he disappears. The other masters looked at her with cunning eyes and said, Sienna, do you like him? Impossible. No way. You're siblings, after all. Hearing this, Sienna shouted angrily, how could it be? Masters, can you be serious? On the spaceship, Chang'e was standing when suddenly someone flew over. The person called out, Master. He turned his back to that person and asked, where are we with the investigation? His subordinate quickly reported, Master, the qualification to enter the true immortal academy comes from the large appearance of the absolute sound beings. There is an absolute sound battlefield in Nanxing Tian now. Many absolute sound beings have rushed out on their own, and many cultivators are also advancing. Chang'e, upon hearing this, said, Brother Yi also gave me the book, the absolute sound heaven is manifesting. All kinds of prodigies and freaks will fight for the qualification to enter the true immortal academy. That little brat from Heavenly Emperor Mountain, who could bring me some fun. He then showed a pleasant expression and ordered, depart, head to Nanxing Tian. In the Nanxing Tian region, someone shouted, this absolute sound battlefield in Nanxing Tian is indeed a good opportunity for us. The people from Nanxing Tian discussed, but I heard that many noble families and freakish powers have also appeared. If we clash with them, we may not benefit. Conflicts aren't scary, but if they delay the main mission, that would be terrible. Wang Wushuang said, that's right, the important thing is to kill the absolute sound beings and obtain the list to enter the cultivation academy. As for the conflicts, we should avoid them if possible. That person isn't the type to reason with, right? Yi Langtian stood up and said, everyone, we've entered the absolute sound battlefield, we must concentrate in one place and support each other. The others agreed, okay, let Brother Yi speak. Understood. Qi Ling Buenjiao said, if young Master Gu Chang'e were here, those aristocratic families would definitely show more respect. Others agreed, yes, with young Master Gu Chang'e around, we would indeed feel much more at ease, truly trustworthy. Yi Langtian said, how could we be without Brother Gu? He continued, don't worry, I've already informed Brother Gu. Based on the timeline, he should be arriving soon. Everyone became excited, Brother Chang'e is coming too. That's great, now we don't have to fear those people. Suddenly a voice came, you say Gu Chang'e will come? Everyone looked at him in surprise, it's the Empress and strange beasts like the Black Kirin on Emperor Mountain, their aura is too overwhelming. The people behind immediately shouted, the prince is asking you, are you deaf? If we don't go up the mountain, does that mean everyone now claims to be a genius? Hope you can tell right from wrong. Others, seeing this, angrily said, these people. But Yi Langtian quickly stopped them with a voice transmission, don't get agitated, these people are very strong, even I can't deal with them. He immediately said, Brother Gu said he would come, but when exactly, I'm not sure. Before he could finish, an overwhelming aura pressed towards him, and the figure of a Gu in front of him released an astonishing oppressive aura, saying, are you Yi Langtian? The one with Gu Chang'e, the ancient emperor, is he a Yuan immortal? Let me see. This won't do. He immediately mocked, looks like Gu Chang'e is just a name after all. Everyone refuted, how can there be such a statement? Wang Wushuang immediately reminded, Brother Gu is the leader of our righteous young generation, I advise you to think twice, don't regret it later. A Gu laughed and said, leader of the righteous path. Without the tiger, the monkey becomes king. Dong Yu, seeing this, intervened. A Gu, don't be so rude. If he comes, I'll sit down and talk with you. I don't believe I won't see him this time. Yi Langtian, seeing this, asked in confusion, isn't this wrong? After all, we've also. Before he could finish, Dong Yu interrupted, what's wrong with that? Don't you think it's an honor to have a chance to deal with Emperor Mountain? Even the Yi family prince can't compare to us. Today, I must wait until he appears. Suddenly, a voice shouted from a certain direction, no need to wait any longer. Everyone looked back in surprise. Coming from the lower level was none other than Chang'e, who had arrived in time. He said, Gu has arrived. Then calmly asked, have you all been waiting long? Dong Yu frowned and shouted, Gu Chang'e. The people around also took turns shouting, young Master Chang'e, Brother Gu. A Gu smiled slyly, finally here, let me give it a try. The figure released black mist and slowly advanced. A cold air enveloped everyone as Gu Chang'e calmly walked past them, ignoring the icy atmosphere. After walking a short distance past Dong Yu and a Gu, he spoke, it's me. May I ask what advice Empress and Brother Egu have? The two finally woke up, their faces showing terror. He broke into a cold sweat, his pupils shrinking. Dong Yu calmly responded, you're the young master of the Chongqing family. Don't you think it's too careless to slander my brother as the heir to the demonic arts? He replied coolly, perhaps Miss Dong Yu is mistaken. I don't recall ever saying your brother is the heir to the demonic arts. Nearby, Yi Liuli agreed, exactly, how can one speak without proof? He continued, besides, I was simply judging based on the theory of Saintess Zi Qin. Seeing his defense, Dong Yu angrily shouted, Gu Chang'e, don't try to deny it. The saint is from the human race temple, has visited the Gu family multiple times, and you ignored her. My people saw it, you. And the human race temple colluded to frame us at Emperor Mountain. What exactly is your goal? Chang'e simply smiled and responded, I have some doubts. The matter of the demonic arts is no small matter. The Empress of Emperor Mountain, instead of proving her innocence, turns to shame and anger. What does this mean? Not daring to argue with the human race temple, and repeatedly causing trouble for me, what is the intent? He silently glanced at her, concluding, is it because you think I am gentle and easy to bully? People around pointed to Dong Yu's group, saying in turn, Emperor Mountain is too domineering, I see you're just fabricating things to protect the heir of the demonic arts and oppose the world. Indeed, when we walked forward, the momentum was intimidating. That guy assassinated my sister that day, carrying the original aura of Emperor Mountain. This is true, undeniable. Can you deny it? The thin one, Huang Mang, whispered, Miss, this matter. At this moment, Dong Yu replied, I. And then fell silent. A Gu next to her also stopped talking. Gu Chang'e suddenly sternly raised his voice, everyone, as the saying goes, disaster doesn't come alone, suffering is unbearable, a person's appearance does not represent their heart. I'm sure Miss Dong Yu is deeply involved, not yet awake, and has been used by others. We cannot blame her entirely. He turned around and walked towards the wine table, saying, today, it's rare for us to meet, don't mind these unpleasant things. Yi Langtian quickly responded, Brother Gu is right. With such a heart, how can one not admire him? Chang Gu replied to Langtian, Brother Yi, you're too kind. We are all from righteous sects, at this time we should value harmony. Lu Li said to the group, this is the result. He sat down by the tea table, used magic to control the wine bottle, pouring wine into cups while inviting, come. Why doesn't young Master Dong Yu sit down and have a few drinks, just consider it giving me some face. A Gu listened and spoke, young master, this matter. She snorted coldly, arms crossed, looking displeased. Sitting comfortably in the chair, she raised her teacup and said to him, Gu Chang'e, I will provide evidence to clear my brother's name. This cup of wine is to thank you for saving me. He waved his hand in a polite response. No need, I think your character is simple and honest, I know you mean no harm. If not for this. He paused, his face darkened, and continued, you and these two are already dead under my foot. His words stunned her, and she shouted, you. A Gu beside her looked dejected, not daring to look up. Chang'e continued, if I were you, I wouldn't waste time causing trouble. No smoke without fire, Prince. Tian is a man of exceptional talent. If there is truly injustice, why not stand up and tell us? Lang Tian, standing in the middle, also said, Brother Gu said that Tian Huang Mountain considers all suspicious people as enemies, but never clears things up. Why would the person who attacked the Gu family use Tian Huang Mountain's ultimate skills? This left young Master Dong Yu silently staring at his wine cup. She remembered her brother's pained face, her heart filled with sorrow. Not long ago, while cultivating, I accidentally severed my past memories. Thinking of this, she lowered her head and sighed silently, brother. Holding her wine cup, she gently raised it and responded, I understand. I noticed my brother's personality and words. Is there a problem? Lang Tian respectfully raised his wine cup and said, young Master Dong Yu understands the greater good and can put the big picture first. Yi respects young master with a drink. Over here, Chang'e smiled slightly, thinking to himself, I can't leave you out, brother Yi. She raised her wine cup and announced, today I intruded unexpectedly, this cup of wine is my apology. Then she drank it in one go. Seeing this, he raised his wine cup and laughed loudly, praising, I didn't expect young Master Dong Yu to be such a straightforward person. Today, let's have a drink. Before he finished, she was already lying on the table. At this moment, a Gu explained. Miss rarely drinks. He smiled and didn't mind, saying, "It's fine, take her back, I won't see you off." Later, in a closed room, Gu Chang'e and Yi Langtian sat across from each other discussing. He asked, "Is there another inheritor of the demonic arts, Brother Yi, are you sure?" Yi Langtian confirmed, "I saw it with Lu Li's own eyes, there's no mistake. He should have been cultivating at that time, but the energy and methods were exactly as described in the records of the forbidden demonic arts." He silently supported his chin, "It seems. This time it's definitely not the heavenly realm, the hidden danger is greater than we thought." Lang Tian shared his thoughts, "That's why I considered the bigger picture, afraid of alerting the snake, I've never exposed it. Only today did I tell Brother Gu." This loyal attitude moved him, and he immediately praised, "Brother Yi, you did right. From now on, about the demonic arts. You must inform me in advance to avoid increasing casualties. The greater my ability, the greater my responsibility." So, the two shook hands tightly, showing their strong brotherly bond, staring at each other. Lang Tian loudly said, "Brother Gu, having you in the righteous path is truly our luck." Chang'e then said, "To have a confidant like Brother Yi is truly my fortune." He smiled but thought to himself, "These words are heartfelt, but aside from me, how could there be another inheritor of the demonic arts? Could it be a disguise? Wait, could it be?" Late at night, the sky was dark, relying only on moonlight and starlight, when suddenly a sob could be heard. In another space, Gu Chang'e knelt under the cherry blossom tree, comforting a child. The child cried while blaming, "Master, how could you leave Tian Tian, woo woo?" He let the child hug him, gently placing his hand on the child's shoulder, whispering, "Silly child, Master was just busy with something, how could I leave you, you are my only disciple." Suddenly, a strange figure appeared from behind, calling out in confusion, "Master." The voice caught his attention. He slightly turned his head, carefully observing, the young girl's body filled with killing intent, looking down in anger and saying, "I am your disciple, why?" After a pause, she lifted her head, her face strange, dark and fluctuating, her eye sockets black, tears flowing down her cheeks, but they were black. Her pupils filled with hatred, asking, "Did you forget?" Seeing the girl's face, Gu Chang'e was shocked and woke up suddenly, cold sweat dripping, not knowing what had happened. He wiped his forehead, feeling downhearted, thinking, "Is this a sealed memory, or a dream? A girl like me actually had a nightmare. If this spreads..." Then he opened the information board and began to check. The panel showed many lines of text, "Daughter of Destiny, red-clad demoness, she has long since been lost in time, her body falling into the abyss. However, her hatred for you cannot be erased, now her consciousness returns from the darkness, ready to slaughter the world, all for revenge." Seeing this, he puzzled, Daughter of Destiny. Could she not be a villain? Rewinding time, a group of people were all kneeling, their heads bowed, touching the ground. In the scene, a little girl with black hair hanging smoothly down, her head lowered, did not raise her face. She listened to the words of the person she was holding, "Your family was killed by them, and the village was burned by them. They are your enemies. Now that I have caught them, you can deal with them as you wish. Kill them or let them go, it's your choice. Do it." The woman in red gripped a sword, trembling. In the end, the bodies lay scattered on the ground, blood staining a large area in the distance, with two figures, one large and one small. The woman in red softly called out, "Master." She looked up and smiled at him, declaring, "When I grow up, I want to marry you." Upon hearing such childish words, he simply reached out and ruffled her head, laughing, "Let's talk when you grow up." The woman in red grew more and more beautiful as she matured, with a slender figure and fair, tender skin. At this moment, she stood straight, looking at her master seriously and asked, "Master, were the bandits back then arranged by you?" He did not turn around, replying, "So what if they were?" She said nothing, decisively picked up her sword, and rushed toward his position. However, when the sword tip touched his long hair, She immediately stopped, trembling. She widened her eyes, tears already flowing, and painfully asked, "Master, can you tell me why?" However, he bluntly refused, "I cannot." Watching the short video, Gu Changa remained silent, his face dark, sighing in confusion. What kind of melodramatic plot is this? Around them were hills, with clouds and mist swirling, and in the distance, a grand city could be faintly seen. In a room, Gu Changa, a girl who had just woken up, groaned while holding her head, "My head hurts." She covered her head, groggily recalling, "How embarrassing, I can't believe I got drunk in front of others." Gu Changa was completely different from what I imagined. I thought he was someone who was unreasonable, ruthless, and cunning. She sighed, "I hope I didn't say anything nonsense in front of him when I was drunk." A boy pushed open the door and walked in. "Xiaoyu, this is the hangover soup I just made." She hurriedly pulled up the blanket to cover her body. "Brother. Brother, why didn't you knock?" Yang Chang looked at her, puzzled. "Ah, wasn't it like this before?" He thought to himself, "What's going on? My silly sister always obeyed me before." He walked closer to her, and she still covered herself with the blanket, asking, "Brother, what's wrong?" He replied, "I've already heard from Agu about last night. I didn't expect that idiot to think that you said and did things that angered many people." He sat down and handed her the hangover soup. She took it. "It's indeed my fault, I almost caused Tianhua Mountain to fall into a public opinion whirlpool." He immediately retorted, "Nonsense, with my instincts, Gu Changa must be involved. It was him who set the trap. How could it be you?" She took the soup bowl. "Brother, after talking with Gu Gongzi, I believe Tianhua Mountain may have been plotted against. Gu Gongzi was also used by that person." She widened her eyes, looking at Yang Chang. He stood up angrily, shouting, "Gu Gongzi, what kind of drug did you take? Why do you keep calling him Gu Gongzi? The person behind, Gu Changa, has already slandered me. Do you know that?" She straightened up, and he snatched the soup bowl from her hands. "Don't drink it. The hangover medicine can only make you sober, not clear your mind." He slammed the door and left, leaving her standing there in confusion. "From now on, you are not allowed to go out without my permission. Stop provoking him," she shouted. "Brother." She didn't understand. Her brother also said he wasn't familiar with Gu Gongzi, but why did she always feel that? He was very wary of Gu Gongzi. His actions and words were completely different from before. It was really strange. In another scene, Wang Wushuang awkwardly smiled. "Sister, don't be angry." Wang Zizhen glared at him. "I told you, don't use my protective talisman unless it's urgent. Do you know how busy I am? If you can't explain the reason, I'll make you understand why the flowers are red." I don't know what kind of medicine Jiang Xiaoxiao took, but why is she so angry? In a place surrounded by mountains and clouds, a voice came, making the person turn around coldly and ask, "Why are you looking for me instead of enjoying yourself at home?" Zikong laughed, "Aren't you thinking about me? By the way, have you found any clues about the demonic cultivation inheritance while traveling around recently?" She wasn't very happy. Seeing her like this, Zijun continued, "What's wrong? You don't look too well. I heard you went to see young Master Gu Changa. How was it? Was he interesting?" Her expression became even more displeased as she furrowed her brows. She quickly left, leaving the person behind, who called out, "Hey, come back." Back in the present, Wang Wushuang said, "But didn't you say you would give me a talisman in an emergency? Do you have to be there in person?" She angrily replied, "That means I can save you when your life is in danger. Do you understand how precious the talisman is? Think of it as a leaf." Wang Wushuang was dissatisfied. "Is it really an emergency? You once told me that if there was any news about young Master Changa, I should inform you. He's also come to South Chintian. Are you still asking me whether you should find you? That's why I was thinking whether I should tell you." She suddenly patted his shoulder, and he was startled. "Wushuang, you did well, I'm very relieved." In a secluded place, among the withered trees, two figures could be faintly seen standing there. So this is the entrance to the silent sound battlefield. If you don't pay attention. The other person responded, if you don't pay attention, you won't find it. Wang Zijuan was talking to Gu Chang'e, there isn't just one entrance like this, but unfortunately, very few people know about it. Brother Gu, did you call me here just to explore the entrance to the silent young battlefield? He replied, I. Remember, if humans can stop the existence of silent sky, then as the inheritor, Miss Zijuan must know how to enter the silent sound battlefield. I also want to take the opportunity to secure a spot in the Immortal Book Pavilion. She was dissatisfied, this man, not even a word of thanks. He smiled and responded, thank you. Wang Zijuan still seemed unsatisfied. Brother Gu, that's just a perfunctory thank you. I can tell you don't have sincerity. It took a lot of effort to find this place. It was indeed my oversight, he said. Miss Zijuan, what would you like me to do to show my gratitude? He opened his eyes and looked at her. She happily said, then repay me with your body. He stepped back, avoiding her. No, I already have a fiancé. I hope Miss Zijuan will be more cautious with her words. This sentence left her stunned. She lowered her head and said, I didn't expect you, who look like an old father from the south, to be so loyal. But no matter what, you have to give me a trusted treasure. All right. He handed her a jade pendant, which glowed and flew towards her. She looked at it, happily saying, this is brother Gu's trusted jade pendant. I'll give it to Miss Zijuan. She excitedly said, wow, is this really a trusted jade pendant? She happily looked at him and said, then in the future, if I need anything, I will use this jade pendant to find you, brother Gu. He laughed and said, of course you can. He thought gloomily, it's no problem for her to find me, but what she wants to do is another matter. These are two different things. As she put away the jade pendant, she turned around and asked, by the way, I heard that brother Gu has some history with Tianhuang Mountain. What do you think about it? He replied, I just met the daughter of Tianhuang. Miss Yu, but I haven't seen Yu Chang'e yet. Miss Yu is very simple and honest, she must have been deceived. He calmly said, I heard that Yu Chang'e has already arrived at South Chintian, but for some reason he hasn't appeared yet. Is he feeling guilty? Is he really the inheritor of demonic cultivation? Brother Gu, I found something today, which reminded me of something. I have a way to make Yu Chang'e appear. We will test him then, she said thoughtfully. He smiled and glanced at her, complimenting, as expected of Miss Zijuan, everything will become clear, whether it's true or false. Elsewhere, a group of people had already flown to the desolate land of stones and dust. The group stopped. Is this the legendary entrance to the silent sound battlefield? He didn't come in with us. Has he already entered? Xia Langtian looked around in confusion. Another group of people landed and laughed loudly, Xiao Yu did well. Since we've seen the silent sound battlefield, it means we've already obtained the list for the Immortal Book Pavilion. Yu Chang'e happily said, thanks to young Master Gu for notifying me, despite past grievances. Miss Yu thought to herself, I can't let my brother know the source of this information, or else. He was surprised, there are others. Xia Langtian noticed too, it's people from Tianhuang Mountain. Someone commented, that's Yu Chang'e, the prince of Tianhuang Mountain. He came in person. Indeed, he has an extraordinary presence. He must be the true son of genius. It's hard to believe, with the power of Tianhuang Mountain, how powerful has his secret cultivation become by now. Elsewhere, Zijuan and Gu Chang'e were watching them. She said, look, he really couldn't resist coming here. Miss Zijuan, you're truly a genius. It seems that someone arrived here much earlier than us, but they are really bold to secretly inform me without showing up. The sound wave appeared in front of Yang Chang. The others looked up in confusion, what's going on? I didn't expect he'd notice us, indeed his divine sense is powerful, he really is the inheritor of the demonic arts. Chang Gu performed a respectful gesture, Prince Yang really lives up to his name. From here on, it's up to Miss Z Kong. She said unhappily, can't you be a little more gentlemanly? She stepped out from her hiding spot, and the people below were shocked. That's the aura of a saint. Yang Chang introduced himself, I am Yang Chang from Tianhuang Mountain, may I ask who you are? Before he finished speaking, Zi Kuan lunged at him to attack. He panicked, his head filled with question marks. She suddenly punched him in the stomach with tremendous force, leaving his face pale. She interrupted him, saying, no more nonsense. The people behind turned pale, filled with terror. He was sent flying several meters by her punch, and her energy still surrounded him. The others anxiously shouted, brother. Your Highness. She leisurely twirled her wrist and looked at him with disdain, why are you so weak? At least you should have the cultivation of a saint, pretending to be weak. A Gu shouted angrily, you're audacious, daring to injure the Prince of Tianhuang. Get her. Capture her. As soon as he finished speaking, the people around charged at Zi Kuan. She was unafraid, her powerful force pushing those who tried to attack her away. A Gu said in surprise, Heavenly Thunder Law, are you the heir of the human ancestor hall? She looked at him coldly, immense power continuing to erupt from her body. Zi Kuan, oh, you recognized it? Good, don't cause any more trouble, I'll let you go this time. Xiao Yu blocked in front of the prince, stop, brother has nothing to do with the demonic arts heir. Don't hurt good people. So much evidence points to him, it's not up to you to say it's not related. Prince Kun answered as he flew up. She stood high up, a huge portal behind her. Last time I was caught off guard, but this time I'm fully prepared. Come on, Prince Yang, use your full strength. Prince Yang said painfully, damn it, do you think I don't want to? The crowd began to discuss again, is Wu Shuang your sister? The saintess of the human ancestor hall indeed has powerful abilities, probably at least at the saint level. But Prince Yang is incredibly weak. Someone sneered, not only weak, but also cowardly, hiding behind the Tianhuang princess at this moment. I heard Prince Yang wasn't like this. He gritted his teeth in silence, then stood up and walked to the Tianhuang princess. Xiao Yu, step aside, let me handle this. She worriedly said, brother. He thought, I haven't fully mastered Tianhuang Mountain's cultivation methods, but I have no choice but to push forward. Zi Kuan stood high, looking down, with a cold sneer, you really know how to pretend. Tianhuang Dharma image. A burst of power exploded from Prince Yang, forming a dignified emperor figure behind him. Zi Kuan's power sharply dropped, stones and dust flying. As the smoke cleared, Prince Yang's unsteady figure appeared, I guess my strength has disappointed you. His face was covered in blood, do you think I'm the inheritor of the demonic arts? I'm not. Even if you kill me, I'm not the heir. He thought to himself, damn it, I've investigated enough. She glared at Yang Chang angrily, then extended her hand to form a magic ball, still pretending, take that secret to your death. Xiao Yu and a Gu ran to stand in front of the prince, run, your highness, stop hiding, act now, we can't hold them off any longer. The huge magic ball brought immense pressure to the guards protecting the prince. Yang Yu spread his arms to protect his brother, thinking, this woman, does she want to wipe us out completely? A voice echoed, is there a misunderstanding in this matter? But the person's power was extraordinary, wrapping around Prince Shen's energy ball. Shen Saintess, please stop for my sake. Xiao Yu was so happy she was about to cry, Gu Gongzi, thank you for your help. He replied, Ing, did I scare everyone? At that moment, Ing Xiang thought, Gu Changa, this person is Gu Changa. The others were surprised, Gu brother, will you two fight now that you're both here? I won't call you the rich Gu brother anymore. Earlier, he only pointed out the scattered, but his strength seems to have increased. Someone sighed, so handsome. Zhen Saintess said unhappily, Gu Changa, what do you mean? Do you want to stop me? He said, I just feel that there's no need to discuss whether Ing Prince has inherited the demonic arts anymore. So I asked the Zhen Saintess to stop here today. No. He has many anomalies, didn't you see? Are you interested in the heavenly female behind him? She said angrily. He remained calm and said, I just feel something's off. Of course, in Yu's straightforward nature, I really don't want her involved. Xiao Yu blushed and said, Gu. Gu Gongzi, I. Prince Shen looked at him disdainfully, man, now it's time to make a choice, have you forgotten your fiancé? Well, if you say so, I can't do anything, I can't defeat you. She disappeared, leaving behind a guard's power. He joined his hands in gratitude, thank you, Saintess, I'll treat you to wine. She immediately refused, forget it, I'm afraid you'll poison me. The people behind all bowed, thank you, young Master Chang'e, for resolving the situation. He smiled, no need to be polite, it's just a small effort. Greetings, Gu brother, I've long heard of your name, thank you for your righteous deed, if in the future. Before he finished, Gu interrupted, no need to be polite, Ing brother, it's just a small effort. He continued. Gu Gongzi, if needed in the future, Tianhuang Mountain will surely offer its full assistance. He ignored him, what are you talking about? At this point, I also have a responsibility. If I hadn't told you this is the entrance to the Juyin battlefield, you wouldn't have met Jin Saintess. Ing Xiang widened his eyes after hearing this. Xiao Yu then said, Gu Gongzi meant well, no need to feel guilty, it's our bad luck. The Saintess of the human clan palace is indeed the most beautiful in the world, we truly feel ashamed. After saying this, Gu boldly asked, Ing brother, have you switched cultivation methods? With your strength, how could you be so weak? He frowned and said, what does Gu brother mean? Do I have a reason to switch cultivation methods? Chang'e replied, I was rash, I thought you had switched cultivation methods, causing your soul to be damaged and unable to show your true strength. The people behind began to discuss, what is this? Has this happened? Xiao Yu asked, but didn't brother say that when cultivating his soul last time, there were issues and he lost part of his memory? Should we ask Gu Gongzi to check? He retorted, stop talking, that was just a small mistake, nothing to mention. The system panel appeared, successfully seized Ing Xiang's fortune, causing suspicion within Tianhuang Mountain and a great loss of fortune. Chang'e smiled, if that's the case, Ing brother should rest well, I won't disturb you, it's a pleasure to meet you. The other side responded, alright, Gu Gongzi, take care. He turned, a strange smile appearing at the corner of his mouth, the number on the heavenly prince's head began to fluctuate. I feel something's wrong, he wondered. On the cliff, is this how you stop me, trying to make him show a flaw? Prince Shen asked. He calmly nodded, exactly. He thought to himself, should I tell you that Ing Xiang's fortune hasn't recovered yet? And now he's dead, who will take the blame for me? Zhen laughed indifferently, no need to complicate things, Jiang Chu will determine the secret method of inheriting the demonic arts. Just go find it. He wondered, no, at that time, I just wanted to stage a play, but I didn't expect the first act to be seen by her. She continued, but that person ran alone to Juyin, how about this, Gu brother, come with me to find him. Before she finished, he began to leave, suddenly remembered, I have business, I'll take my leave. She was silent for a moment, muttering to herself, strange, when I mentioned him to Jiang Chu, her expression also changed instantly. Could there be something between them? Gu Chang'e, are you the Breaker King? At the Juyin battlefield, young master, deeper ahead is the abyss of the Juyin battlefield, there may be Juyin creatures above the quasi-saint level, I'm worried. A group of people were walking forward. The leader said, it's fine, let the weaker ones stay outside, the rest follow me in. If we really encounter Juyin creatures above the quasi-saint level, we've killed them before, fighting for the world's #1 young man, Gu Chang'e can do it, I can too. His subordinates shouted in unison. Good, no wonder you're the young master of the Golden Rhino clan, this momentum, no one can compare. From each gate, some people slowly walked out, surrounded by a purple force. The #1 young man, he asked. 3 mysterious figures laughed and said, you probably won't have a chance. The people below were shocked and asked, "Who is it?" "Three great saints. What happened to the young master?" "Kirinzi, the master has given an order. Today, we must take your origin." Kirinzi asked fiercely, "Take my origin?" Only those who inherit the demonic power would want to take someone's origin. He froze for a moment. Could it be Prince Yang? "I have no enmity with him, how could this happen?" The man laughed and walked up to him. "No matter what. The origin of the Golden Kirin clan is so precious, hand it over." Terrifying screams rang out, "Young master!" Some people had their throats grabbed, others collapsed on the ground. One person secretly used magic, lying on the ground groaning, "Rumors, bloodline." An item like a ring flew up, and a voice sounded, "The Emperor of Killing, Prince Yang of Tianhuang Mountain." The rumored bloodline method of the Golden Kirin clan is indeed unique. Someone approached. Kirinzi widened his eyes in surprise and said, "How? How is it you?" Chu Changa showed a terrifying smile, "Safe travels, I've taken your origin." At this moment, a group of people led by Yilang Tian was flying toward those people. "Kirinzi and Yanhua Tian are dead. I heard it was done by Yang Chang. They walked and talked. At that time, I didn't expect Brother Chu to want to save them, and I'm afraid Brother Chu didn't expect it either. So many things have happened recently. If the human saintess had killed Prince Yang back then, maybe none of this would have happened. At that time, Prince Yang must have pretended to be weak, trying to cover up for everyone. If he had fought with all his strength, even if he dominated the area, it would have still put his sister in danger. Hurry up. A group of people were arguing, "Tianhuang Mountain dared to kill our young master, this grudge cannot go unpunished." Tianhuang Mountain replied, "You keep saying it's related to me, but I've been with my sister all these days, never leaving. What evidence do you have?" The elder of the Golden Kirin clan insisted, "Now that things have come to this, you're still pretending. Do you think you can cover up the fact that you snatched the young master's origin in the Yinju battlefield? You don't even know that our clan has already used the secret method of the rumored bloodline. You are the heir of the demonic power." Yang Chang angrily said, "You're talking nonsense. I have no enmity with Kirinzi, why would I harm him? What strange secret method do you have, who knows if it's true?" The people led by Yilang Tian landed. "I know some secret methods of the Golden Kirin clan, but I didn't expect Yang Chang to be so bold." One person shouted, "Brother Yi, this is strange, why is he so eager, and why did he kill two people?" Wang Wushuang said, "It should be that day, when his sister put too much pressure on him, forcing him to quickly want to increase his strength." Shi Ling said, "The path of demonic power is not only cruel but also cunning. This guy is still pretending." The two sides were still arguing. "Don't think that just because you have Tianhuang Mountain and your father, Yang Tianhuang, behind you, you can do whatever you want. I tell you, as the heir to demonic power, you will soon face the challenge of your enemies." Yang Chang immediately responded, "You are slandering me. I fought to kill Yinju beings and my good friends for the Tianxian Academy's quota, heaven is my witness." The people from Tianhuang Mountain looked at each other. "I remembered during the battle, His Highness seemed to have left, and His Highness's abilities." Yang Chang turned back in dissatisfaction. "What are you saying?" "I just wanted to rest, do I need to report it to you too?" Xiao Yu worriedly called out, "Brother! Brother!" She asked suspiciously, "But recently, why has your temper changed so much? Why has your strength dropped so severely? And why are there so many strange behaviors?" He looked at her disappointed. "Xiao Yu, even you doubt me?" The elder of the Golden Kirin clan rushed forward, wanting to attack Yang Chang. "You can't even hide it from those around you, what more is there to say? Now I'll take you back to the clan and wait for your punishment." He reached out to grab Yang Chang, who screamed in fear. The system panel once again displayed Yang Chang's numbers, and the numbers kept fluctuating. A golden power erupted, violently pushing the people around. The elder was bounced back, and he screamed in pain. The golden power formed a bell shape, flying into the sky, then exploded, forming an arc-shaped barrier. This amazed everyone. That's the Supreme Soul Bell. Did Yang Tianhuang make it for his son? Everyone looked at the barrier created by Yang Chang and said, block the space. This barrier is easy to enter but hard to exit. He hit it very deep. Why are so many people here? What does he want to do? Is he planning to kill everyone? Yang Chang looked up at the sky in disappointment and said, I am not the heir to the magic art, I am wronged. Why don't you believe me? His subordinate tried to advise him, young master, what are you doing? Do you deserve the title of Yang Tianhuang? The bitter sea has no shore, turning back is the only way. At most, you will just lose the magic art's forbidden techniques. Yang Yu also spoke, brother, don't be so stubborn. He coldly looked at his sister and sneered, brother. Do you still consider me as your brother? If I were your brother, would you doubt me just because of a few words from others? Yang Yu denied with tears in her eyes, no, brother. He angrily shouted, enough, no more talking. If you don't believe me, then. The bells on their heads lit up, scaring everyone to panic. What? Quick, run, Prince Yang is crazy, he wants to kill everyone. A masked person descended from the sky and attacked a girl, causing everyone to panic, and the girl screamed. The masked person laughed loudly, anyone who resists my master, don't think of escaping. Someone shouted, it's magic energy, and it's Grand Saint Realm. A girl added, no wonder he killed 2 prodigies so easily, it turns out he has this kind of method. 2 other masked people kneeled in front of Yang Chang, we greet the heir, please rest assured, no one will leave here alive. Today. Yang Yu immediately questioned, the 3 great saints have magic energy aura, do you still want to deny it, brother? He was stunned, if I say I don't know these 3 people, will anyone believe me? Someone is deliberately framing me, it seems like. They're helping me, but. She angrily said, at this point, are you still acting? Brother, you owe an apology to Tianhuang Mountain. The 2 masked people angrily charged forward to attack the subordinate and her, how bold, the heir cannot be insulted so easily. A goose spit blood in anger, I haven't said anything yet. Wushuang and Yi Langtian watched the masked people attacking the crowd, feeling very confused, what should we do? We're having a hard time dealing with the Grand Saint Realm. Everyone understands, things have reached this point, I'm afraid the fish will die and the net will be broken. The masked person grabbed Yang Yu's hair, the girl coughed violently in pain. Yang Chang said, I didn't expect you to be so crazy, you even want to kill me. Dare to say more, die. The masked person shouted. Yang Chang panicked, no, that's not it. Hey! Stop, stop. Don't hurt Miss Yang Yu. A hand stretched out, attacking the masked person. That's Gu Chang'e. He suddenly struck at the person's back, what? Xiao Yu fearfully said, Gu. Young master. The people over there retreated to Yang Chang's side, and he was also shocked to see Gu Chang'e appear, Gu Chang'e. Others joyfully said, it's brother Gu, young master Chang'e, great. We're saved. Someone shouted, sister, brother Gu. A girl exclaimed, I didn't expect he would charge into the soul-locking and spirit-binding barrier to save us, truly unbelievable. Yang Yu was helped up by Gu Chang'e, and he said, young brother, the magic art's forbidden techniques are things that have already disappeared long ago, why are you still so stubborn? Don't worry, I, Gu, deeply respect you. Perhaps we can sit down, drink tea, and talk about world affairs. The board displayed Yang Chang's index as 12250. Gu Chang'e, stop. Pretending to be a good person. Is all this you're doing? You know in your heart, I am not the heir to the magic arts. He stood in front of Xiao Yu, annoyed, it seems talking is useless. I, Gu, don't claim to be a good person, but I will never tolerate those who kill fellow cultivators. You even dare to kill your own sister. Violating the heavens, I must uphold justice. He shouted angrily. Others discussed, young Master Chang'e, things have reached this point and he still wants to smear his brother, truly heartless. And vicious. That guy and his subordinates have already killed many of my friends. We cannot let him go, absolutely not. Yang Chang turned around and shouted, a bunch of stupid fools, you are being played around and don't even know it. Gu Chang'e is a sinister villain. Before he finished speaking, he was stunned because two masked people suddenly charged forward. Don't worry, magic art air, will kill him now. Gu Chang'e also charged forward, making Xiao Yu worry, young Master Gu, be careful. These are two grand saints. He comforted her, it's fine, now I can only protect you. The two sides charged at each other, their powers clashing with immense pressure. A group of fools, let's see how long you can last, the masked man said loudly. At this moment, it seemed that Gu Chang'e was exhausted. He spat blood, his face full of pain, and was forced back. Xiao Yu called out worriedly, young Master Chang'e. Others sighed, as expected, they are too strong, after all. They are two great saint-level experts. I have been cultivating for many years, and I have always believed. The two men charged forward again, trying to attack. Evil cannot defeat righteousness. He exerted his strength and released a massive energy, pushing the two men back. This is Supreme Chi. Everyone was shocked. I didn't expect young Master Chang'e could use the Supreme Chi alone. He truly deserves to be the leader of the righteous path. The two men retreated to Feng Chang's side. He shouted, you dare to shout. You are the evil one. Watch me use the soul-locking ancient spirit. Suddenly, his face changed, furrowing his brows in confusion. He was stopped by the two masked men. There's something strange about this man. Let's retreat. For now, today isn't suitable for further fighting. We'll come back another day to take their source. The three grabbed Feng Chang and flew away. He struggled but couldn't escape. Let me go, who are you? I don't know you. The three answered, you are the heir, stop being stubborn. Let's go quickly. Feng Chang struggled, let me go. Others were both surprised and happy, Prince Feng has escaped, the barrier has been opened. Young Master Chang'e has forced Prince Feng and his demonic organization to retreat. Shi Ling's face showed fear, it's a pity they are too strong, we can't keep them here. Suddenly, blood splattered on the ground. Gu Chang'e coughed and collapsed. Everyone anxiously rushed over, young Master Chang'e, are you alright? Young Master Gu. Brother Gu. He clutched his chest, sorry. Everyone, I forcibly used the Supreme Chi, and the backlash couldn't stop them. It's my fault. Feng Chang shouted, let me out, you bastards. Who are you? Are you sent by Gu Chang'e? He must be the heir to the demonic arts, right? Speak up. He shouted, and the number above his head quickly decreased. Xiao Yu supported Gu Chang'e's arm, young master, I will never forget the great kindness you showed today. I didn't expect Feng Chang to fall this far, betraying his father's wisdom. He replied, Xiao Yu, there's no need for that. Such a great event at Tianhuang Mountain. I hope you recover soon. She nodded with tears in her eyes, I understand, but I didn't expect he would try to kill me too. He coughed again, and someone asked. With concern, Brother Gu, are you alright? She also worried, young Master Gu, I have some ointment here, it can heal your wounds. The women present eagerly offered him medicine, I also have some. I have some, take mine. Young Master Chang'e. Take mine. Young Master Chang'e, take mine, it's very good quality, take mine, take mine. I have a lot. Seeing them like this, Xiao Yu froze, and Gu Chang'e smiled bitterly, it's fine, these minor injuries are nothing. Thank you all for your concern. A few days later, the three masked men knelt before Gu Chang'e, report, Master, everything has been done according to your instructions. Feng Chang has been discarded in a corner to fend for himself. Now, Feng Chang is separated from Tianhuang Mountain, and his luck has plummeted. This action will make the world know that if Yi Lang Tian is right, the organization of the heir to the demonic arts must be real. They must have secretly contacted Feng Chang. He clasped his hands and thought, a cunning smile appeared on his face. That unlucky title of the demonic arts heir, he will have to bear it. He walked to a door. Next, we will use this method to find the heir of the demonic arts. Perhaps we can ask Ming Kong about that red-clad witch. It's been a while, I do miss her. He smiled. Elsewhere, Xiao Yu and her subordinates were invited to a place. The wind blew the curtains, and two men stood guard. She asked the person in front of her in confusion, I wonder why Miss Ming Kong invited us. She looked sharply at Ming Kong, are you the fiancé of young Master Gu, Miss Yu Ming Kong? Ming Kong calmly replied, there's nothing much, I just want to advise you not to develop any unnecessary feelings for Gu Chang'e. Xiao Yu frowned, I don't understand your meaning, everyone knows you are engaged to young Master Gu. Are you afraid I might steal your fiancé? Ming Kong answered, I am trying to save you, for your own good. Being too close to him will bring misfortune and pain. She smiled, as for stealing him, I think you're overthinking, young lady. Xiao Yu angrily said, Young Master Gu has shown me great kindness and has been kind to Tianhuang Mountain. I, Xiao Yu, must repay that kindness. As for the other matters, other young ladies are thinking too much. Xiao Yu knows her place. Ming Kong planned to stand up and nod, that's good, I hope you. Before she could finish, her words were interrupted by someone. Ming Kong has already reached Nanxing Tian, and didn't even notify me, making me work so hard to find you. Everyone turned around in surprise, that young man. Long Gu Xiao Zhu. Ming Kong asked in surprise, how did you come here? What do you want with me? He replied, I wanted to see you. Do I need a reason? After saying that, he reached out and hugged Ming Kong's waist, which made her blush, confused. Dong Yu. Don't mind her, Ming Kong is very jealous. As long as there's a woman around me, she becomes uneasy. Ming Kong pushed him away, Gu Chang'e, what nonsense are you talking about? Do you really think I would go after a little girl out of jealousy? He replied indulgently, where is that? I know our Ming Kong is the most understanding. I'm just afraid she'll be frightened. Dong Yu watched their intimate interaction and could only bite her lip silently. Dong Yu and her subordinates bowed, Gu Gongzi. You are joking. It's rare to see you meet with Ming Kong for so long. Someone like me shouldn't disturb. Please come to Tian Huang Mountain to chat with Long Gu Xiao Zhu next time. He immediately responded, of course. Everyone, take care. Then, the others also took their leave. Long Gu Xiao Zhu, we are leaving. Gu Xiong, farewell. Take care. He bade them farewell one by one. A girl pulled another girl, come, let's go, stop looking. Can you compare with Ming Kong princess? I can be a concubine. The other girl responded. Ming Kong coldly sighed, quite popular, huh? Not only sending medicine, but I see you're also sending your body. Hearing this, he could only remain silent. He turned around, isn't Ming Kong doing this to make Dong Yu uncomfortable? She must be worried that I will hurt Dong Yu. She replied indifferently, not that I'm worried, I just don't want her to regret thinking of you as someone she likes, when in the end, you're just a pawn in your heart. Suddenly, he leaned close to her, his face near hers, making her widen her eyes and shyly ask, does it matter if I'm a pawn or not? I just want to know, are you really not jealous? Is this important? If I were jealous, would you stop interacting with them? He mocked, what do you think? She replied, do you think I will guess? He smiled mysteriously, not revealing what he was thinking. Suddenly, he picked her up, long time no see, Ming Kong, you become this mischievous. She blushed, Gu Chang'e, what do you want to do? He placed her on the table behind him, of course, I have to teach you a lesson. Let's see if you dare to tease your husband again. She panicked, "Stop joking, let me down, it's broad daylight." He leaned his face closer to hers. "Oh," he said, "are you scared now? Call me husband, and I'll let you go." She helplessly said, "Fine. Husband." He laughed, I'm just joking, did you really believe it?" This made her freeze, and she angrily said, "Gu Changa, you jerk." He spoke, and Ming Kong was kissed by Gu Changa. That night, in a ruin, Su Chinga curled up on a broken pillar. "The heir of the demon arts is Prince Dong." No way. How could there be a second heir to the demon arts? Isn't there only one in each generation? Could it be that in my generation, there are two heirs? She furrowed her brow. A soul that looked exactly like Su Chinga appeared and spoke with her. Impossible, right? Isn't there only one heir to the demon arts in each generation? Has it always been like this? Then why is there another heir to the demon arts this time? Who is it? I felt something was off before. In Daotian ancient immortal continent, even in the Chongqinggu family, there were rumors of the demon arts heir's presence. The soul sneered and flew in front of her. Why think so much? Anyway, someone will take the blame for us. Our actions will be much easier, and we won't have to sneak around like before. She responded, "That's true, and now it requires a lot of points to enter the Immortal Town Library. Having the title of the demon arts heir might actually hinder my actions." The soul coldly glanced at her and walked closer. "Actually, it's not that complicated." She leaned close to her ear. "We just need to be bolder. With Gu Changa's trust in you now, as long as you swallow him, with his talent, we can." She didn't let her continue, standing up and loudly saying, "Shut up, I've said it so many times, stop bringing it up. Otherwise, you know, with my current strength, I could swallow you right now." The shadow panicked. "Why are you shouting so loud?" She laughed. "Su Chinga, what are you dreaming of? You're the destined heir of the demon arts, destined to stand against the whole world. Do you plan to spend your life as a servant heating water for him?" She laughed loudly. "This is so funny, you should know, Gu Changa has never seen you as a woman. After taking you back to the upper realm, he won't care about you, just abandon you. In his eyes, you are just a pet. When he's in a good mood, he'll tease you, when he's not, you're nothing." She covered her mouth, pointing at her, "A foolish woman, so self-important. Don't you think you're important to him?" "No way, no way." She laughed again. "Su Chinga, you're not stupid, you must know all the recent actions, right? If he finds out you're the heir to the demonic arts, do you think he will spare you?" She flew in front of her, her face wearing a dangerous expression. "No, not only will he not do that, but he'll also personally kill you, then use your body as a tool to stir people's hearts. If you don't believe me, try telling him you're the heir to the demonic arts. Let's see what he'll do." She laughed loudly again. She clenched her fists, suppressing her emotions. "Shut up." Her eyes filled with tears, and the energy inside her erupted as she shouted, "Shut up." The camera shifted elsewhere. Changa directly attacked the monster's face, swiftly splitting it in half. With just a few strikes, he forcefully defeated many monsters. By this time, only a few remnants of monsters remained, which he easily defeated. Changa put away his weapon. "The absolute sound beings I killed should be enough to enter the true Immortal Academy, right? But is there any way to enhance my strength now?" He propped his chin and thought. The red-clad demoness won. According to Ming Kong's clues, her strength far exceeds mine. Although I have a powerful force behind me, it's still not enough to guarantee safety. Changa smiled. By the way, as the heir to the human ancestor temple, he must have already delved deep into the absolute sound sky. Then, refining a portion of the absolute sound sky should also be a good choice. I've left my spiritual mark on the jade pendant for Prince Kong, it can track her location. At this moment, the jade pendant in Zichen's bag continued to glow. Zichen was by Jiang Suasua's side, seeing her alone fighting 7 monsters. "Jiang Suasua, are you crazy? What did you take? With your current strength, you can't deal with them. Prince Zichen rushed to attack a monster. Go. She said, Prince Zichen, go back, this is my matter. Zichen frowned, the human ancestor is dead, but that guy is still alive. As for me, aside from desperately delaying the devouring of the absolute sound sky, I have no other way, only this can match my identity. She attacked the monsters desperately, forcing them back. She turned to Suasua and said, stopping. The absolute sound sky was the human ancestor's task. Why are you here? The heir to the demonic arts, Dong Zheng, has already been found. If you have no other use for your strength, go deal with him. Suasua remained silent for a while, then softly said, the heir to the demonic arts is unprepared, and Zichen turned around and shouted, what are you standing there for? Be careful. She was startled, turned to look behind her, and noticed a monster had appeared behind her. It reached out as if to attack her. Due to negligence, she was hit by the monster and flew out. The monster wasn't planning to spare her and charged toward her again. Two delicate hands stretched out from somewhere, lightning weaving around them, blocking it. It was Zichen, giving her all to protect Suasua. Run, Jiang Suasua, are you crazy? If you don't run, you'll really die. She fell to the ground, saying, I can't leave, I am the heir to the human ancestor temple, I must protect the world. Prince Zichen almost couldn't hold on anymore, turned around, and cursed, protect the world, you thick-headed fool. You're just a worker, no such fate. Hurry up, I can't hold on much longer. Suasua stood up, go. She said, but didn't know that many monsters were behind her. Zichen shouted, damn, be careful. She weakly gave up, it's fine to die like this. It's okay, no need to think too much. Suddenly, something fell down, knocking all the surrounding monsters flying. A golden sword flew over and appeared next to Zichen, making her look at it in surprise. Then it rushed forward, directly piercing the monster's abdomen, leaving her stunned. At this moment, Suasua was held in someone's arms. She asked, Zichen Saintis, are you okay? She widened her eyes and looked behind, no, it's okay. How did you? Chang'e, while holding Suasua, greeted, what a coincidence, we meet again. Su was surprised to find that it was Gu Chang'e who saved her. She immediately broke free from his grasp, let go of me, didn't we already have nothing to do with each other? I don't need your help. He calmly said, I don't want to save you either, but if you want to die, at least don't die in front of me, it's really annoying. Zichen listened to their argument, stunned. Jiang Su, you. Gu Chang'e interrupted her, what's wrong with me? She continued to curse, bastard. He immediately responded, am I a bastard? Is this how you talk to your savior? Zichen could only stand there and watch them argue. Who told you to save me? I didn't want it in the first place. Jiang Su, you really can't change your self-righteous nature. Whether you live or die, I don't care at all. Wang Zichen had a head full of question marks. Am I out of contact? What's going on with these two? Are they that close? Gu Chang'e pushed Su aside, move, don't block the way. I've never seen such a foolish person, having a brain but not using it. Is it just the soundless creatures? Zichen was startled upon hearing this, Gu brother, what do you want to do? You're not really planning to fight the soundless creatures alone, are you? Hey, Gu brother, are you crazy? A different space suddenly appeared, with thousands of ghosts and monsters waiting to attack. He didn't listen to her shouting, picked up two swords, and walked towards them. Zichen looked up in admiration, as expected of Gu brother, not only is he a role model for soldiers, his willpower is astonishing. But he also has such strong power. Jiang Su silently thought, Gu Chang'e, why are you doing this? In the red barrier, waves of attacks came at him. Gu Chang'e held his swords with both hands and wildly slaughtered the monsters. This is the top of the soundless land, those two should not be able to enter here. Once I refine this origin, I will go out and find them. After speaking, he gathered purple energy in his hands, and a green bottle appeared. The soundless origin is so rare. I must thank Zichen's fortune, but I'm curious, how does the soundless power compare to my Tao treasure? His face became more dangerous than ever. Which one is stronger, which one is weaker? Purple power surged out, and the monsters seemed to be attracted. The bottle above his head kept absorbing magic power and monsters. He quietly sat down to cultivate. He frowned slightly and softly said, "This is." A boy in red ran up to a man, repeatedly calling, "Master! Master!" He asked himself, "Is this my memory?" In the memory, he happily recounted, "Today I met disciples from Jyotian Peak. They took my things and said I was mediocre, destined only for the divine realm, so I defeated all of them." The man gently stroked his head. "I didn't teach you swordsmanship to make you defeat enemies." His face darkened. "Master, I was wrong." He smiled and shouldered his sword, his shoulders full of wounds. "Master, I'm back. Jyotian Peak, from today onwards, no longer exists." The man gently stroked his head, praising, "Now that's my disciple, no one can bully you." He continued, "By the way, Master, I made a friend at the foot of the mountain." The man, then asked, "Is it male or female?" He replied, "Female, but she's not." Behind them were two swords and someone's head. The man continued asking, "Then what is she?" He replied, "A small peach tree." The man rested his chin. "I see, if you like her, she'll dig with you." Soon, a beautiful peach tree appeared, and he looked very happy. A few days later, the two girls were still here. It's been several days, and now the soundless creatures and the soundless aura here should have almost disappeared, right? Didn't they say only the human ancestors could solve the soundless land since ancient times? Zichen rested her chin on her hand. Could she? Making Jiang Su curiously look at her. Is Guchanga the reincarnation of the human ancestor? Upon hearing this, Jiang Su angrily shouted, "He's not." Zichen froze. "If he's not, then he's not. Why are you so emotional?" Zichen pushed Jiang Su and asked, "Jiang Su, tell me honestly, what's going on between you and Guchanga?" Jiang Su answered unhappily, "It's none of your business. Just know he's not a good person, stay away from him." Zichen replied, "I feel sorry for thinking of you as a friend, yet you didn't tell me anything." She angrily pinched her waist. "Of course I know he's not a good person, I don't like this type either. But this evil suits my taste, yet you have an indescribable relationship with him. I can only reluctantly give up on what I like." Su angrily said, "I have nothing to do with him." Zi responded with an "oh" and asked, "Really?" Usually in idol dramas, two people who initially dislike each other end up together. Su shouted again, "Absolutely not possible." Wang Zixian glanced at him. "That's true, after all, you're just a simple person, not sweet at all." He's not the type of gentle domineering CEO either. From a big gate, Guchanga rushed out, his arm injured, not knowing what had happened. Zixian worriedly said, "He's out, is Brother Gu all right?" He replied, "I'm fine, thank you for your concern, Saintess Zixian." He was treating his arm while speaking, "All the absolute sound beings here have been refined by me, the absolute sound aura has dissipated. With my ability, this is all I can do." Zixian smiled and said, "Brother Gu, I'm starting to suspect you're not a reincarnation of a human. Why is it that you can do things again and again that others can't even dream of?" Su was angry again. "I told you, it's not true." He clasped his hands together. "What did Saintess Zixian say? How could someone like me, a small cultivator, be compared to such an ancestor-like existence? How can a firefly compete with the moon's brilliance? This time, I was just lucky. This absolute sound sky is much more terrifying than I imagined." Hearing these words, for some reason, Su felt uncomfortable. His arm was surrounded by a deep red aura. Zixian said worriedly, This is. Brother Gu, you've been corrupted. By the absolute sound aura, mixed with the obstruction of the holy realm. He replied, I was too careless, got ambushed. But it's no big deal. Suo Su said again, Wang Zixian, he said it's no big deal, you don't need to worry. Jiang Suo Su turned around dissatisfied, Gu Chang'e, if you don't die, I'm leaving. He followed up, Saint Suo Su, don't worry about my life or death, care more about the creatures of this world. Don't let them fall victim to vicious demonic arts. She angrily turned around to look at him but said nothing. She swept past them. Zixian also realized that Brother Gu and Suo Su seemed to have some conflict. He touched the torn sleeve, which suddenly lit up. He calmly said, don't mind it, I'm just used to her putting the life of all beings above everything else. Zixian laughed mockingly and pointed at him, I understand now, I understand now. Elsewhere, someone was fighting a monster. Ever since Brother Summoner entered the deeper true God realm, he's been able to easily suppress these absolute sound beings. One person praised, that's right, Brother Summoner is indeed the young supreme of our holy academy. This trip to the absolute sound battlefield totally relied on Brother Summoner. The person who fought with the monster, named Xiao Xiao Yao, humbly responded, don't blindly praise me, I only have some small tricks. Where is our senior brother? I'm far behind him. He glanced at Su Qingqing, who was fighting a monster, and saw that she looked both beautiful and captivating in battle. Xiao Xiao Yao immediately charged forward to attack the monster like a hero saving a damsel. Die, don't even think about harming Miss Su. He turned around and asked her, Miss Su, are you all right? She immediately replied, I'm fine, thank you for your help. Young Master Zhao. He continued asking, Miss Su's spiritual arts look unfamiliar to me. I wonder who your master is. Su Qingqing lowered her head and said, that master forbade me from revealing it, sorry young Master Zhao. He tried to reach out to support her arm, I see, I was being rude, I should apologize. But she had already pulled her arm back, and he said, it's fine. This action made him feel a little embarrassed. But Miss Su's skills are extraordinary, her master must be a hidden expert. She politely declined, young Master Zhao overestimates me, these claw techniques would only disgrace my master, I'm no big name. He smiled, Miss Su, you're too modest. From my perspective, if you showed your real strength, it might not be any worse than mine. Perhaps this time. Our holy academy will rely on you for this trip to the absolute sound battlefield. She didn't say anything further, just silently watched him. Others kept discussing, Zhao Xiaoyao and Su Qingqing, senior brother Zhao really seems to have a liking for this unfamiliar Miss Su. What's so special about her? Our holy academy only invited her to join the absolute sound battlefield after seeing her come alone. Right. Senior brother Zhao has only known her for 3 days, and they're already this close. He turned to those people and said, everyone must be tired, why not rest and recover here? Each person should calculate their points, those with more points can give some to those with fewer, ensuring everyone can enter the true immortal library. Everyone replied in unison, understood, senior brother Zhao. Su Qingqing sat further away from the crowd. Her soul appeared and spoke to her again, do you know about Zhao Xiaoyao's physique? She responded with a hum, the Cloud Dao physique, his physique is of no use to me. The soul continued to advise, some things are better than nothing, right? You don't think you're a good person, do you? Su Qingqing, many people are destined to have you die. She remained calm, shut up, there are too many people here, it's not convenient to act, exposing it would surely fail. Zhao Xiaoyao walked over, Miss Su, do you have enough points? I have plenty, I can give you some. The soul flew in front of him, full of greed, this person looks really tasty. She politely declined, no need, I truly appreciate young Master Zhao's kindness. If I don't have enough points, I'll just kill more monsters. She stood up to bid farewell, hey, Su. He wanted to stop her but had to inform those people first, you all Rest here and recover, wait for senior brother to return. I'll go find Miss Sue, the absolute sound battlefield is too dangerous, no one should wander alone. The soul looked at him with some regret in its eyes but did nothing. The two sped past, passing those people. Senior brother Zhao really is, he's cold and indifferent to everyone else. But so enthusiastic towards her. Right. What does that woman have, besides a good figure and decent looks, what else? After a while, Su Qingge stopped again, her soul scanning the surroundings, but she couldn't see Zhao Xiaoyao. Why is it taking so long? Did that guy get left behind? What a useless fool, I told you to slow down and not let him catch up. It's a pity, he managed to save his life. She said calmly, even if he could catch up, I couldn't possibly kill him. His suspicion of me is too deep. The soul scoffed, I still don't know that you're soft-hearted. The scene shifts to Zhao Xiaoyao, who was anxiously searching for Su Qingge. Miss Su, Miss Su. Miss Su, where are you? Strange. How can her speed be so fast? I can't even catch up. The yin energy here is so thick, I just hope she doesn't get into trouble. He searched around for her, his mind recalling the way she fought. This is the first time I've felt something. For a woman, he sighed. I consider myself a talented man, but why is Miss Su so indifferent to me? Suddenly, a voice came, because you look like a dog licking at her feet, trying to win her favor. His eyes widened in shock. And he grew nervous. Right behind him, a ghostly face suddenly appeared, and he frantically looked around. Who's there? I am Zhao Xiaoyao from the Confucian Saint Academy. Don't try to scare me with your tricks. Whoever you are, come out. He took out his folding fan and looked around vigilantly. Where are you? Upon hearing the voice, his nerves heightened, and he thought to himself, this voice is. Gu Changge appeared with a terrifying expression, looking for me. He was so scared his soul nearly left his body, shouting out as the folding fan fell from his hand. At this moment, Zhao Xiaoyao had fallen to his knees, his head pressed to the ground. The ancients were right, there are no innocent lickspittles in this world. Are you thinking of doing something bad again? In that case, I can't spare you. He gripped Zhao Xiaoyao's head, choking him so he couldn't breathe or speak. You are. He was thrown violently aside. You seem to be quite interested in Su Qingge. Once Yan Ji received the news and knew you had left the Taishan demon sect, I guessed that the person Yilang Tian mentioned must be her. Qingge, the stage is set for you, even if you don't want to perform, you must. However, I'm curious. As the heir to the demon arts, have you ever coveted my essence? The more you do, the more I want to meet you. His face was full of dangerous intent. The scene shifts, and others are searching around. Zhao Xiaoyao, senior brother Zhao. People murmured, senior brother Zhao went after Miss Su, but he hasn't returned all night. Could something have happened? Senior brother Zhao is so strong, he shouldn't have run into trouble, but Miss Su doesn't look like a good person. Another man, the eldest disciple of the Confucian Saint Academy, Jun Qiu, was informed by a panicked person. Senior brother, over here. We found a body, and Zhao's senior brother's magical artifact, the wind-chasing fan. Jun Qiu asked in shock, what? He hurriedly rushed to the scene with everyone. It's indeed senior brother Zhao's magical artifact. He stepped forward to check and his face changed. This method, it's demon magic. Someone exclaimed, what? He said solemnly, that Miss Su is probably connected to the heir of the demon arts. Then he turned and ordered, quick, send a secret letter to all disciples, stop her, don't let her escape. Everyone answered in unison, yes. We must avenge senior brother Zhao. At this moment, Su Qingge was surrounded by everyone. Su, how could someone so beautiful be such a ruthless poison? Woman. People around her murmured, what happened? It seems like Zhao Xiaoyao from Confucian Saint Academy was killed by the heir of the demon arts, and it's related to Miss Su. A woman angrily questioned, "Senior brother. Zhao followed you out of concern, but was killed by you. What's your relationship with the demon arts heir?" She angrily retorted, "I've said it many times, I've never seen Zhao Xiaoyao. Where he is, what happened to him, has nothing to do with me. Why are you framing me? Do you have any evidence?" The women around her were even angrier, "Still trying to defend yourself? You've been following us, never leaving. After you left, senior brother Zhao ran into trouble. The facts are right in front of you, and you still want evidence." She yelled, "He chose to follow me, what does that have to do with me? If you think I'm an accomplice to the heir of the demon arts, go find him. Bullying a weak woman, is that what you call strength?" The woman pointed angrily at her, "You're a shameless bitch. Senior brother Zhao was so outstanding, and you killed him, yet you don't even feel guilty." People continued to debate, "This young lady, if Confucian Saint Academy suspects you, and you are clear in your heart, then stay and cooperate with the investigation. Yes. You're a suspect, and now that everyone is here, how can we just let you go?" She sneered, "You talk so grandly, just bullying me because I have no sect. There's no evidence, and just because I'm alone. You think you can freely accuse me?" The soul also angrily said, "Damn it, just go all out, kill as many as we can." Jun Qiu looked down at her, Good, a weak woman with a sharp tongue. In the end, if you hadn't led my junior brother away, would he have died?" People murmured, "The eldest disciple of Confucian Saint Academy, Jun Qiu, is personally taking action. This time, the Su lady has nowhere to escape. In my view, you must be involved with the heir of the demon arts. If you want to prove your innocence, open your sea of consciousness and let me inspect it. If you truly have no connection, we will let you go and apologize." The women nearby snorted disdainfully. She loudly commanded, "Don't even think about it." She thought to herself, "My secret, how could someone like Zhao Xiaoyao uncover it? Even if I die, I can't let him probe my divine sense." Jun Qiu suddenly lunged at her and launched an attack, "In that case, don't blame me." She reached out to defend against the fierce attacks, but was repelled. The surrounding land and rocks also cracked open. This is the cultivation of a god-king realm. She struggled to resist, but it was too difficult. He looked at her, "If you are unwilling to open your divine sense, I'll have to force you. Once your divine sense is forced open, you'll become an idiot, and then you won't have a chance to regret." "Young Master Chang'e, has young Master Chang'e arrived?" "It should be because of the inheritance of the demonic arts." "Greetings, young Master Chang'e." "Greetings, young Master Chang'e." He interrupted the battle. "Everyone, there's no need for formalities. I heard there's someone here who is inheriting the demonic arts, so I came to see if there's any clue." The girl standing beside Su Qing'e snorted, "Young Master Chang'e is upright, completely opposed to anyone inheriting the demonic arts. With him here to uphold justice, you won't escape disaster today." She stared blankly at him. She began to recall the days she spent with him when he held her waist. "Young master," she called softly. Jun Qiu stepped forward to greet him, "Greetings, young Master Chang'e, I am Jun Qiu, a scholar from the academy." The girl behind thought, "Young Master Chang'e is even more handsome than senior brother." "I am Gu Chang'e," he replied. Jun Qiu then said, "Indeed, we found clues about the inheritance of the demonic arts, and it is related to this woman behind us?" He suddenly asked when he saw her, "Ching'e, what are you doing here?" She turned her head and softly replied, "Young master, it's been a long time." He walked over and patted her shoulder, "I heard from my mother that you've been looking for me, wondering when I would come. Why did you come alone to the silent battlefield? Don't you know it's dangerous here?" She softly answered, "Sorry, young master, I. She hesitated, and everyone was confused, not understanding what had happened. Jun Qiu spoke, "Wait, young Master Chang'e, do you two know each other?" He turned to look at him, "Of course. She is my maid." What's wrong? Do you think the person inheriting the demonic arts is related to her? Jun Chio awkwardly said, no, 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 it should have nothing to do with her. This is a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? What misunderstanding? You haven't finished speaking and already say it's a misunderstanding. Do you think I'm favoring her? He turned to the crowd, everyone, listen, regarding the inheritance of the demonic arts. If Chinga has done anything wrong, even though she is my maid, I will not favor her. The others discussed among themselves. Senior brother, this matter should be handled fairly by young master, but if she is young master Gu's maid, then surely there's no problem. It seems the scholar from the academy misunderstood. He turned to her and said, Chinga, tell me, why are you here? Tell me everything you've been through, don't hide anything you know. She lowered her head, yes, Chinga dares not. While wiping her tears, she said, I came to South Xingtian to find young master. I thought I wouldn't rely on young master and would kill the creatures of Yin-Ju myself to obtain the qualification to enter the true immortal academy, but I met the scholar from the academy who summoned me to connect with him. I didn't refuse, but later, I found out that the scholar's seniors didn't like me, so I rejected him. Tears welled up in her eyes, then they said that the summoned scholar cared for me, so they found me and met the person inheriting the demonic arts. They attacked again and killed. That's why they judged that I am connected to the person inheriting the demonic arts, blocking me here and asking me to open my divine sense as evidence. She finished speaking and cried in sobs. He angrily said, check her divine sense. His words shocked Jun Chio and the girl beside him. We didn't know that Miss Su was young Master Gu's person, so it must be our misunderstanding. Yes, yes. Gu Chang'e loudly said, how can you speak like that? Just because she is my person, it's a misunderstanding. Chinga, if you're suspected, open your divine sense and let them see. Don't listen to him, said the soul. She followed his words, yes, young master. An orange energy emanated from her body, and the people around her appeared calm. It seems it really is a misunderstanding with Miss Su. That's right. He spoke, anyone who doesn't believe it can come forward to check, scholars from the academy, please. His expression changed and he smiled, oh, right, Chinga is my person. If she is related to the one inheriting the demonic arts, doesn't that also mean I am related? Why don't you scholars from the academy check my divine sense as well? Jun Chio was too scared to speak. No, 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 young Master Chang'e, we were indeed reckless and made wild guesses without evidence. Please forgive us. He pulled her into his arms. If my people are involved in trouble, I will personally clear it up. But if anyone tries to take advantage and bully her, don't blame me for turning hostile. After speaking, he released an astonishing force, causing everyone around him to kneel before him. Please, young Master Gu, calm down, we will explain everything and give Miss Su justice. He loudly said, forget it, regarding the inheritance of the demonic arts, everyone should still be cautious. I will not argue with you. She looked up at him, this scene feels familiar. He flew up and said, farewell. After that, he and Su Chinga disappeared. Jun Chio finally sighed with relief. Another person muttered, this little bitch, Miss Su is actually young Master Chang'e's maid. He took her to a more secluded place. She grabbed his clothes, young master, I'm sorry. Today, Chinga deceived everyone. He was surprised, what did you deceive me about? Chinga shouldn't have lied about coming to Tianxingnan to find someone, she lowered her eyes and said. He smiled and turned to look at her, so you never wanted to see me. She didn't dare to look at him, anyway, young master didn't want to see me. If you didn't want to, why leave me in the Taichu Divine Exchange Tower for so long? How many celestial maidens are by your side, I know I'm not important to you. So I didn't want to see you either. He lifted her chin, all right, Su Qingjia, you're quite bold. You dare speak these strange words to me. You didn't come to see me even after arriving at Nanxing, and you brought trouble to me. I think you want me to teach you a lesson, huh? She walked up to him and shouted, then teach me, young master. The soul behind her muttered unhappily, I see you're no different from that Zhao guy, he'll end up killing you sooner or later. He turned around, this brat, doesn't study properly in the higher realms, knowing well that I can't bear to, yet still provokes me. The soul laughed uncontrollably, hilarious, even when she delivers herself to his door, he doesn't care. What a clown. Young master, I still want to ask you a question. This made both Gu Chang'e and the soul curious. If I really am the heir to the demonic arts, how would you treat me? The soul panicked, do you want to die? Do you dare to ask that? Gu Chang'e is not someone you can fool. The atmosphere immediately became gloomy, the heir to the demonic arts. He repeated. She nervously said, I meant if. He glanced at her, then of course, I would kill you to prevent you from harming the people. She clenched her fists tightly, forcing a smile, young master, you're truly heartless, but dying by your hand is not too bad. He suddenly placed his hand on her shoulder, pulling her closer, if it really is like that, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to escape either. After killing you, I'd probably have to follow you. She was shocked, young master. Don't speak like that. It's not worth it. You're destined to be someone who can establish this realm. The system displayed a message again, and Su Qingjia was moved once more. In a place called the Demon Realm, there was a mountain and some mysterious trees. In a certain room, a scream was heard, Princess Jiao, why do you want to kill me? It was the painful scream of a girl. She fearfully knelt before a demon, saying with terror, young master, don't casually speak of the name of Princess Jiao. If someone hears it, we'll all be decapitated. He furrowed his brows, looking at her in surprise, what? Then he turned to the girl and asked, where is this? Who are you? The girl froze and said, young master. She respectfully followed behind him. Today, the demon realm no longer has the 6 demon emperors, and she became the demon queen. This demon clan is Jun Bufan. He frowned in deep thought, I was originally the son of the demon emperor Jun Bufan. After being stabbed by my childhood sweetheart, I was reborn into this body that shares my name. He turned around and patted her shoulder, Qing'e, after I wake up, don't tell anyone about what just happened. Otherwise, neither of us will escape death. She immediately replied, I know, young master, don't worry. I didn't expect all this to be from 6 years ago, Jun Bufan thought to himself. Princess Jiao stabbed towards him, the scene unfolding, why does she want to kill me? Why was she able to unite the demon realm? I must find the person I once loved. In another place, many people gathered. The surrounding scenery was beautiful, with birds flying around, and boats from unknown origins docked on the shore. There was a plaque, and when a person saw it, they exclaimed, is this the immortal library? Indeed, a place that creates immortals. A man said proudly, I, Suo Lu Feng, will make a name for myself here, and my name will spread throughout the higher realms. The person next to him immediately responded, you better leave, I'm just a passerby. Becoming an outer disciple is already a blessing of 3 lifetimes. To become an inner disciple of the library, you must be above the celestial realm. I heard the top 10 have already been decided. They are all stronger than the saint level. The man laughed and said. They walked while chatting, I know, the young master of the Gu family and the heir of the organization are among the top 10, but as long as we can challenge and defeat them, we will get equal treatment and resources. Won't we soar by then? Those who gossip behind our backs should be honest when we meet. As everyone gathered, a voice rang out, everyone, exchange your points and listen carefully. Come to me for a spiritual bone check. Anyone with more than 50 points from the library will be rejected. Please be aware. A man looked serious, but then bowed low and listened to Elder Wang scold him, spiritual bone 51 years old, do you think I'm blind? Coming here to take advantage? The man awkwardly replied, I just turned 50 yesterday. My cultivation and points are enough. Arrange. Arrange it. He angrily shouted, stop talking, don't waste my time, rules are rules. You don't have the right to make demands. The man turned and walked away, cursing, damn, this library is nonsense, no reason at all. Hearing this, Elder Wang was stunned. He rushed forward to attack the man, impudent. How dare you insult the true immortal library like this, this is your punishment. A huge burst of energy exploded. The people around them saw this and were both terrified and surprised. Two brothers stood there, frightened. And hugging each other. The older brother was Qing Feng, and the younger brother was Qing Xiaoyi. Brother, did you see that? People kill without blinking an eye, this is not a school. Let's go back, I'm scared. Although scared, he still answered, no, we can't, Xiaoyi, your talent is very good, you will be valued here. We also need to avenge father. I understand, the little girl replied. The two people beside them shouted in surprise, that's young Master Gu Chang'e from the Gu family. A gigantic green dragon appeared, and from its back descended Gu Chang'e and Su Qing'e. Someone shouted loudly, young Master Chang'e is here. Someone else admired, young Master Chang'e is really handsome. Qing Feng thought to himself, no, this isn't right. He interrupted, why is no one speaking? He then covered his sister's eyes with his hand, Xiaoyi, don't look, those are not people. We can underestimate. Never let them think we are rude, or the consequences will be unimaginable. Gu Chang'e stepped forward and saluted, Elder Wang, Chang'e greets you. Elder Wang smiled kindly, ah. Young Master Chang'e. No need for formalities. You've traveled a long way, so weary from the journey, please enter the academy and rest. He said coldly, as far as I know, isn't there an entrance exam and a spiritual bone requirement to join the academy? Elder Wang remained gentle, no need. Young Master Chang'e definitely meets the academy's rules. He nodded slightly, since that's the case, thank you for arranging this, Elder. May I rest here for a moment? Elder Wang immediately responded, of course. The little girl Qing Xiaoyi asked her brother, big brother. When can we receive this kind of treatment? He smiled and said, don't even dream about it, they're a true dragon from the 9 heavens, while we're just lowly earthlings, totally out of reach. Gu Chang'e and Su Qing'e stood by, observing. The little girl asked curiously, young master, aren't we going in? He replied, not yet, I'm looking for some good talents. When it was Qing Feng and his sister's turn, Elder Wang became furious, 13 years old, 17 years old, one has never cultivated, the other has no spiritual root, which family's child is here causing trouble? Qing Feng quickly explained, Elder, my sister is not a cultivator, but her strength is stronger than that of ordinary cultivators. Elder Wang became even angrier, ridiculous. Are you making a fool of me? Didn't that person just teach you a lesson? Qing Feng knelt in fear and pleaded, it's true, we wouldn't dare deceive the elder, please take in my sister. Elder Wang snorted coldly, without accumulated points or proof, leave at once. I won't hold it against you since you are still children. Qing Feng continued to beg, isn't there another chance? We really want to cultivate, please, take us in. We're willing to serve the academy. Elder Wang raised his hand in anger, preparing to attack the two children, it seems you're unwilling to leave, then don't blame me for chasing you down the mountain. The two children could only cry, and Gu Chang'e quickly stopped him, wait a moment. Elder Wang was surprised, young Master Chang'e? Gu Chang'e asked, I wonder if I can offer them points in exchange for their admission to the academy. I happen to lack 2 sword attendants. The people around were shocked, what? Young Master Chang'e wants sword attendants. Damn! Why didn't he choose me? I can even warm his bed. Qing Feng was helped up by his sister, and Elder Wang hurriedly said, I speak frankly, they aren't even cultivators, what virtue or ability do they have to be your sword attendants? He replied, exactly because they are mere mortals, yet still traveled thousands of miles to come to the academy. To study. This perseverance is beyond what ordinary cultivators can achieve, so I, Gu, feel a little sympathy. If the Academy pursues this matter, I, Gu Changa, will take full responsibility. I ask Elder to arrange it. At this moment, a purple light appeared on Qing Shao Yi, with purple four-leaf clover swirling around her body. Qing Shao Yi heard the elder say, "Young Master Changa, no need to say so much. This is just a small matter. It is their fortune that you value them." The two children immediately knelt at Gu Changa's feet, saying in unison, "Thank you, young Master Changa, we will never forget your great kindness." He was surprised. "What is this? I don't need you to kneel to me, get up." He reached out to help the two children up, and Qing Feng hurriedly said, "Yes, yes, young Master Changa." The little girl sighed inwardly, "Young Master Changa, you are so gentle." He smiled slightly, "Little one, no need for such courtesy." A sudden flash of lightning made everyone around gasp in shock. Elder Wang stuttered, "Gee, greetings, Elder Lei." Elder Lei looked down from above and said, "Elder Wang, I'm here to find two people." At this point, he noticed Gu Changa. "You are from the Gu family? It seems the rumors underestimated your strength." He smiled, "Greetings, Elder." "You're joking. How should I address you, Senior?" "But I'm not here for you today," Elder Lei said as he walked past him. Both Gu Changa and Elder Wang froze. Elder Lei went straight to the little girl. "It's true, it's the immortal demon body. The predictions of the Sikong family's techniques are truly extraordinary." Elder Wang was stunned, thinking, What? It's actually the rare immortal demon body, I almost drove them away." Gu Changa was also surprised, "So it's the immortal demon body, I thought they were just two poor children. It seems I was short-sighted." Elder Lei said to Elder Wang, "I'll take these two little ones with me. The Academy intends to cultivate them. You all continue with your examination." Elder Wang replied, All right. Someone shouted, "Young Master Changa." He paid no attention, turned around, and said to the two children, "Let's go, being personally cultivated by the Academy, you two are really lucky. This is much more promising than being my sword attendants." Qing Feng said loudly, "Young Master Changa, my brother and I will never forget your kindness." Qing Xiaoyi looked at him in confusion. Elder Lei's figure flickered, leaving only a flash of lightning, and he shouted loudly, "You must cultivate diligently, no slacking off." He smiled and added, "Only then can you repay me in the future." "The one coming is young Master Changa," someone shouted loudly. "I, Gu, specifically came to pay my respects to the Academy's elders, hoping for an audience," someone responded. "All right, young Master Changa, please wait a moment." Inside the Academy, 5 elders were cultivating together. The space below resembled the Milky Way, while above were thousands of scrolls of books. The true immortal book elder raised his teacup while puzzled, "What does this Gu kid want with us?" Someone was surprised. "Of course it's nothing good, that guy is a disaster, wherever he goes, he brings calamity." Elder Lei rebutted, "But didn't the rumors say he's graceful and polite? I just saw him kindly helping those two children." Another elder spoke up, "Old Lei. You're old and still believing in rumors." This person dug out his sisters. Dao boned when he was young, such a person can't be upright. He immediately nodded, "You're right." Just then, he walked in, disciple Gu Changa pays respects to all the elders. One elder showed a surprised expression. "Let's not talk about his character, his cultivation is quite good. If you have something to say it quickly, then leave." The elder was still holding a book and didn't even look at him. He smiled and said, "Long time no see, your health looks much better than before. It seems the true Immortal Academy suits you better than the Dao Tian Immortal Palace." At this moment, the Grand Elder finally put down the book and frowned at him, "Disastrous." He angrily said, "As long as you don't appear in front of me, my health has never been bad." An elder thought to himself, "This senior and this kid He paused and said, "What does the Grand Elder mean?" Chang'e doesn't understand. As the heir of Dao Tian Immortal Palace, Chang'e is not unworthy of the Immortal Palace. He seemed a bit troubled. As fellow disciples, we should help each other, and we should assist Dao Tian Immortal Palace in unifying the immortal ancient world and achieving long-lasting peace and stability. The elder impatiently interrupted him, "Stop, stop, stop. Don't say any more. If you keep talking, I'll have you thrown out." Someone laughed. The relationship between the senior and the disciple is really harmonious. Another nodded. Indeed, it's rare to see a senior so excited. But the Grand Elder roared, "Harmonious my ass, you brat." He stopped delaying and said, "Speak, what is it that you want from us?" He extended his hand and summoned a flower petal. "I came to ask about a person." The petal glowed as he asked, "Do the elders recognize this item?" Someone widened their eyes. This. The petal kept glowing, emitting magic power. An elder said, "Whoever left this item must have an unfathomable cultivation, and their pressure is terrifying, mixed with the laws of order." He approached the petal. "This token is related to the demon realm. If the person you're looking for is in the true Immortal Academy, it can only be that person." "That person?" he asked. An elder stroked his beard and asked, "Kid, have you met the Immortals' masters?" He smiled and nodded. The elder looked at him in confusion. "Didn't they beat you up?" He replied discontentedly. "What are you saying, elder? They really like me. You think I'll believe that?" The elder replied dismissively. He linked arms with the Grand Elder, and they chatted as they walked. "Grand Elder, why don't you take me to meet the person related to this item first?" The elder said, "That person has a strange personality, except for those from the demon realm. Ordinary people are driven away. At that point, I can't help you." He smiled. "Grand Elder, don't worry. Chang'e is no ordinary person. I'm the heir of Dao Tian Immortal Palace." The elder angrily cursed, "Shut up." They flew to another location, where a red-haired woman stood in front of them, and the elder said, "We've arrived." The red-haired woman was the Demon Realm Queen, Jiao Ji. "You took out a peach blossom petal and said, 'I came here to ask, is this token related to you?'" Jiaoshi looked at the petal hesitantly and said, "Master." The stone beside her seemed to have a soul of its own. He frowned as he looked at the stone. "I feel like I've seen this somewhere before." He recalled his childhood memories. He practiced with a long sword. "Master, how is my swordsmanship now?" The person praised, "Very good. There's progress." He recognized that it was a stone that had become sentient. Suddenly, a purple aura exploded, shocking both him and the elder. "This is demonic energy," he thought. The dark aura is emanating from the sentient stone beside Jiaoshi. The petal in his hand was now surrounded by demonic energy. Jiaoshi spoke, "Old friend." Old Stone appeared, sighing while holding his head. "So, you've crossed over as well, but have no memory of it?" Jiaoshi asked worriedly, "Are you all right?" He replied, "I'm fine." He looked at the two and asked, "May I ask, is this token yours?" Suddenly, he looked at Gu Chang'e, his pupils shrinking in shock. He stared at the young man standing there, a face similar to his flashing in his mind. He stepped back in fear, exclaiming, "The demon lord is not dead." Jiaoshi looked worriedly at him. "Master?" She glared at Gu Chang'e. He was stunned, and the Grand Elder beside him became enraged, demonic energy swirling around him. "The demon lord is not dead. May I ask what you mean by this? Is it related to this boy?" He looked at the Grand Elder's expression and thought helplessly, "This old man must want to use this as an excuse to kill me, right?" Jiaoshi helped Old Stone up. "No, it's not, it's just a similar temperament. If there really were two flowers in the world, they might not share the same fate." Old Stone sighed. He introduced himself. "I am called Old Stone. May I ask how to address you?" He responded, "I am Gu Chang'e." Old Stone was slightly surprised. "Gu Chang'e, it's you. I hope you can reflect another flower, that would be more reassuring." He then asked, "Did the peach demon send you to find me?" Gu Changa replied, exactly. The peach demon said you might be able to resolve my physical problem. The Grand Elder, deep in thought, remarked, born with demonic nature. I am not very clear on this either. Perhaps the peach demon was influenced by my blood's master's aura back then, so I wasn't controlled by the demonic nature. But, that was just luck. Also, with the peach demon's current state, she probably doesn't remember anything. Old Stone looked down and said, how many people like you have appeared in this world? But without exception, they were ultimately plagued by ominous energy, and their endings were all tragic. This sort of thing cannot be relied on others, only yourself. No one can help you. The Grand Elder pondered, what's going on with this boy? I don't need to solve any demonic heart problem. What I want is your favor. He then asked, Senior, have we met before? Why do I feel a sense of familiarity about you? Jiaoshi and Old Stone looked at him in surprise. Familiarity? He smiled. When I was cultivating in the past, I liked to meditate on the blue stone, but was dissatisfied with most of them. Until I found a blue stone, which looked very similar to the original form of Senior. The Grand Elder looked at him with disdain, thinking, he's talking nonsense again. I meant no offense, perhaps because of this, I feel some familiarity. He fell silent for a moment and then said, perhaps, this is what is called fate. If you don't mind, you can come to find me if you have any business at the True Immortal Academy in the future. Although I can't leave the academy in my current state, my words still hold some weight here. He smiled. I respectfully accept. The Grand Elder still looked at him with the same expression. This kid's abilities are becoming greater and greater. His expression turned grim, the information revealed by Old Stone, combined with the memories that have resurfaced during this time, and the confirmed inheritor of demonic power being Qin Gu. Does that mean I am the Demon Lord? Old Stone introduced, by the way, this is my disciple, Jiaoshi. You can get to know each other. Gu Changa respectfully said, I greet Lady Jiaoshi. He thought to himself, so this is the renowned ruler of the demon realm? A god-level expert who already has quasi-supreme strength. No wonder she's a 6,000-year-old monster. She smiled and said, young Master Changa, there's no need to be polite. Although I am in a remote part of the demon world, I have already heard many rumors about you. Now, young Master Changa, you probably already dominate 7/10 of the young generation's fortune. He smiled and said, the Queen overpraises me. How could someone like me deserve such praise? I've also heard many rumors about you, and now that I meet you in person, I realize those rumors are nothing but baseless gossip. The beautiful lady curiously asked, this piques my interest. What rumors has young Master Changa heard? And what are your thoughts on them? Hearing this, he was stunned. This is utterly rebellious, patricide, and wife murder. It can never lead to good. I've heard that the world says the Queen has a malicious heart, like a snake's or a scorpion's, causing chaos in the demon world. Upon hearing this, the Grand Elder and Old Stone looked at him in surprise. That's why I said. These words are nothing but nonsense. After all, 6,000 years ago, the demon world, with 6 equally powerful emperors, was engulfed in war and the people suffered greatly. That was the norm, he said helplessly. He had a look of anger on his face, and the 6 demon emperors stubbornly stick to old rules, unable to adapt. They don't care about the survival of the lower-level demons, and when they are at their peak, they will decline. The fortune of the demon world will inevitably wither. If it weren't for the Empress, not only would the demon world not have been unified, but even today's stability would have been impossible to achieve. Is this not the Empress's achievement? However, people are ignorant and fail to understand that change comes at a cost. They only focus on the faults and ignore the merits, which is why the Empress suffers from public criticism. He said respectfully, cupping his hands. The beautiful lady remained silent upon hearing this. Old Stone, hearing these words, thought to himself, people are ignorant, and my master once said the same thing. Old Stone spoke, I think young Master Changa's explanation is very close to what Lady Jiaoji has in mind. Jiaoji showed a hint of joy. Is young Master Changa speaking up for me? After all these years, only you have been able to understand. I never thought anyone would share my thoughts. He bowed and quickly said, in my humble opinion, the Empress's reforms for the demon world outweigh her faults and deserve to be called a great emperor for the ages. Jiaoji, upon hearing this, widened her eyes in surprise and looked at him. Young Master Changa, you are new here and not very familiar with the true Immortal Academy. Coincidentally, I once stayed here. I wonder, with me guiding the way today, will it satisfy you? The two walked together on a foggy road, with floating giant stones suspended in the air. Walking together, he smiled and said, the Queen is joking. It's a great honor for me to have the Queen guide me. How could I be dissatisfied? Disturbing the Queen so much? She asked, young Master Changa, where else would you like to go? Do you have any places in mind? He was stunned, and the system panel appeared with the system prompt, fortune event triggered, the son of the demon emperor returns. Seeing he did not respond, she asked in confusion, why aren't you speaking, young Master Changa? He hesitated and explained, I suddenly remembered something interesting. He stepped forward, thank you, Queen, for showing me around. If you don't mind, you may call me Changa. In the future, otherwise it feels a bit distant. She immediately replied, sure, young Master Changa. He then asked, I wonder if the demon world is peaceful these days. I have never stepped into the demon world and am curious. How were the 5 demon emperors back then? Did their forces cause trouble for you, Queen? She sneered. Those 5 emperors' remnants are just a rabble, though they secretly stir, they can't cause any trouble. I must speak frankly, Queen, you should not take them lightly. After all, you hold a high position and might not notice the hidden dangers. What if the 5 emperors have hidden cards and strike when you least expect it? What will you do then? He thought to himself, I can't be too obvious, or it will raise suspicions. The Queen should thoroughly investigate whether the enemies have been completely eradicated. Some calamities can quietly spread when unnoticed, like a raging fire. She listened silently to his words, then asked, the 5 emperors' hidden cards. It was unclear what she was thinking, but her expression was very thoughtful. Elsewhere, demonic energy was spreading continuously, originating from a white-haired man. Daoist sister, I have been waiting here at the True Immortal Academy for quite some time. The white-haired man was none other than Lord Xiang. In my past life, I knelt in front of the Buddha, but I could not earn even a glance from you. You refused to stop and pursue the Tao, and I, too, never stopped pursuing your footsteps. His face was filled with rage, and the mark on his forehead began to glow. If in this life, you still refuse to look back at me, it will surely be your greatest regret. I wonder if your Nirvana Dao bone has progressed further, or if my Hongmeng Dao bone will dominate the world. The mark suddenly opened, turning into a third eye. Let me use the heavenly eye of immortality to peer into the shadow of your future. A scene appeared, a hand shackled by chains, belonging to a woman. She was hanging from the wall, covered in blood. Another person stood nearby, holding a bowl of blood, with the smell of blood gradually fading. Senior sister, this is your future. With your personality and talent, how could your life end up like this? The young girl's face turned pale, and blood kept flowing from her eyes and nose. Xiang looked at the person again. This guy, he's calmly watching you. Isn't he your cousin? How can he do this to you? Was everything about taking you home and returning your Dao bone just an act? He saw more clearly the person standing. Gu Changa, you are indeed no good. Returning the Dao bone is simply a joke. Gu Changa's expression changed slightly as he turned to look at Xiang, letting out a sound of surprise. Interesting. He froze for a moment. What? The eye on his forehead was severely injured, and his face showed extreme pain. He cares about me coming from the future. No. Impossible. He reached out to wipe off the sweat. Anyway, This guy is definitely not as simple as he seems on the surface. He's 100 times more terrifying than rumors say. Gu Changge is definitely a monster, I must be careful of him. At Qingfeng's side, Qing Xiaoyi asked, brother, what are immortals and demons? He answered, Xiaoyi, you only need to know that. You're very powerful. See, all the elders are fighting to take you as their disciple. Without you, I could never have entered here. Qing Xiaoyi timidly said, but brother, I don't want to cultivate. The way the elders look at me scares me. It feels like they don't see me as a person at all. The cultivation world is too cruel and heartless, I'm so scared. Qing Feng comforted her, Xiaoyi, don't think too much. Qing Gige is useless, unable to protect you or give you a carefree life. The young girl suddenly hugged him. Brother, don't say that. Brother is the best to Xiaoyi, I know. He just softly hummed in response. In his arms, the little girl whispered, if the elders hadn't shown up that day, we could have followed young Master Changge. Xiaoyi thinks young Master Changge is different from others. Silly girl, someone like young Master Changge probably wouldn't even remember our names. Don't hold any fantasies about him. We are not from the same world. He rubbed the girl's head. Qing Xiaoyi covered her face and ran off. Brother, what are you talking about? I wasn't fantasizing. I just want to repay him someday. Qing Feng watched her retreating back, silently sighing. Without power, in the end, we can only be chosen by others, to be manipulated. Qing Feng stood before a door and gently took out a small green bottle. He used magic to lift the bottle in his hand from his sleeve. No matter what, brother will definitely protect you well in the future. Gu Changge arrived at Elder Wang's place, causing the people nearby to stir. Young Master Changge. Wow, his demeanor is extraordinary. I think even among the top 10, young Master Changge would be in the top 3. Elder Wang laughed, I didn't expect young Master Changge to come today, what is the matter? Elder Wang. I'm waiting for someone. The old man said, could it be young Master Changge's fiancée, Princess Minkong? On the other side, Yingxiang stood beside old Mo and suddenly looked at Gu Changge. What's going on? He squinted his eyes. Gu Changge. Last time, you suffered a great loss in his hands. Now we're at the True Immortal Academy, we have their backing, don't worry. Yingxiang's expression darkened. I understand, old Mo. On the other side, he was still laughing with Elder Wang. There's no way, Minkong insisted on making me come pick her up, acting like a child throwing a tantrum. The elder laughed, I see, young Master Changge and Princess Minkong really have a good relationship. Young Master, please feel free. I'll continue to select disciples for the academy. Please. On the other side, Yingxiang's ranking was 5,100, and he silently thought, is it just my imagination? Why do I feel like he's observing me? Changge stood there, watching Elder Wang leave, silently thinking, it seems you've already accepted your new identity, becoming the heir of the demonic arts. With the elder from the Supreme Immortal Academy by your side, you must be part of the demonic arts organization now. He then revealed a sinister smile, changed his appearance, and continued to look for support. Did he think that this would stop me from killing him? Princess Minkong and the Golden Eagle descended from the azure sky, causing a stir as they landed before Gu Changge and the others. That was Princess Minkong of the Wushuang Immortal Dynasty, with imperial talent. She was truly peerless, no wonder even someone like young Master Changge would wait here for her. Minkong paused for a moment and lightly landed before Gu Changge, asking, Gu Changge, were you waiting for me? He calmly replied, what else? Everyone here can testify for me. The surrounding people also echoed, that's right. Princess Minkong, with imperial talent, young Master Changge has been waiting for you for a long time. Changge lightly placed his hand on Minkong's shoulder and looked at Elder Wang, asking, Elder Wang, does Minkong still need to be tested? Elder Wang laughed, of course not. She wondered, has the sun risen from the west? The people around looked up at the sky, pointing and exclaiming in surprise, Master. Master Nine-Headed Lion. It's from the Jin Chan Temple of Mount Buddha. That Jin Chan actually crossed the burial magic abyss, and he's also one of the top 10 of the God rankings. This commotion made Mingkong and Chang'e turn to look at the sky. A man in monk's robes was riding a nine-headed lion. Once again, the air was filled with voices discussing, crossing the burial magic abyss? That's terrifying. What kind of monsters are these top 10 on the God rankings? People were talking in a frenzy. Soon after, Jin Chan landed. I didn't expect to see both Chang'e and Jin Chan from Mount Buddha today. Both are in the top 10 of the God rankings. I wonder who is stronger. Upon seeing Jin Chan, Gu Chang'e immediately stepped forward and greeted him, saying, Brother Jin Chan, it's a pleasure to meet you. Mingkong looked at Jin Chan, and many questions flashed through her mind. After the eruption of the burial magic abyss, it seemed like he perished within it. Since Gu Chang'e sealed the burial magic abyss, there hasn't been any news about Jin Chan. I remember in my past life, he cleared someone's suspicion of inheriting demonic powers, which made Gu Chang'e resent him. Jin Chan held a prayer bead in one hand and made a bow with the other, saying, Amitabha. Jin Chan greets young Master Chang'e. As soon as he finished speaking, the nine-headed lion roared fiercely. Chang'e asked, what does this mean? Jin Chan looked at the nine-headed lion and reprimanded, do not be rude. Then he introduced, its name is Shan Jing, and it's extremely sensitive to the aura of good and evil. It's probably. Mingkong glanced at Chang'e, who was pondering while stroking his chin. He said, is that so? Chang'e turned to ask Mingkong, have you done anything bad recently? Mingkong froze when she heard that. Jin Chan immediately expressed his sincerity, saying, a mount is just a mount, it doesn't understand etiquette. Please do not mind it. Chang'e smiled lightly and said, it's no trouble. No harm done. I've heard that mount Buddha is mysterious and powerful, but I've never had the chance to experience it. How about today? Before he could finish, Chang'e suddenly moved, charging toward Jin Chan, saying, please, brother Jin Chan, give me some pointers. Jin Chan was shocked by the sudden turn of events and exclaimed, young Master Chang'e. Jin Chan quickly retreated, and the two of them chased each other in midair. Shan Jing also appeared furious. People around watched the scene and discussed, what's happening? Why are they fighting all of a sudden? Oh my god, the two experts from the top 10 of the God rankings are fighting. Chang'e used Shan Jing's head as a stepping stone, stepping forcefully on it, shouting, get out of the way. Shan Jing instantly slammed face first into the ground, letting out a painful roar. Meanwhile, both Chang'e and Jin Chan soared into the air. Mingkong's expression was cold, and she thought to herself, if you are a reborn person, you would probably choose to secretly kill Jin Chan, right? She continued to ponder, looks like I was overly concerned before. At this moment, the three stood in front of the Xiang Hall, coming to pay their respects. Xiang pushed open the door and exclaimed in surprise, what? Gu Chang'e is going to fight Jin Chan. Song Fan sneered as he reported, exactly. Xiang Tianjun, as soon as Jin Chan arrived, Gu Chang'e immediately attacked. I see that he dares to bully even the monk, and if he meets Tianjun, it might be. Xiang disappeared instantly, thinking, I need to take this opportunity to see his true abilities. After all, rumors are just rumors. Song Fan was shocked and hurriedly shouted, Xiang Tianjun. In the sky, Chang'e and Jin Chan were about to engage in battle, and the people around excitedly rushed to watch, shouting, hurry. The clash of the top 10 on the God rankings. Chang'e confidently said, all right. The audience is quite a lot. Brother Jin Chan, please. Jin Chan also responded calmly, since young Master Chang'e insists on a spar, then. He suddenly opened his eyes and softly said, I apologize. Jin Chan immediately cast a spell, striking at Chang'e. Chang'e was bound by Jin Chan's spell, but he still calmly said, Mount Buddha's ultimate technique, East Heaven Curse. The people watching this scene broke out in a cold sweat and pointed at the sky, shouting, East Heaven Curse of Mount Buddha. It said that once hit by this move, it's almost impossible to escape. Is young Master Chang'e going to lose right from the start? That is. Chang'e began to channel his internal energy. Even though he was restrained, he still looked at Jin Chan and said, there's an opening. Brother Jin Chan. An attack rushed towards Jin Chan, and he exclaimed in shock, this is, the void talent. Chang'e instantly closed the distance with Jin Chan and directly struck his Zhen Shui acupoint. Jin Chan closed his eyes and endured the blow. A flash of light suddenly flickered, and he said, Jin Chan shed his shell. Jin Chan's body instantly disappeared, leaving behind many prayer beads. Chang'e was surprised and said, Buddha beads. The Buddha beads began to crack open, and from each bead emerged a Jin Chan clone, quickly surrounding Chang'e. He said, Chang'e, at this distance, your magical tools and techniques are probably useless. Chang'e noticed the situation and grinned slyly, replying, I see. It's not a flaw, it's a trap to lead me in. Too bad. The clones immediately attacked Chang'e. Meanwhile, a huge explosion erupted in the air, and the onlookers exclaimed, what happened? We can't see anything clearly. It seems that Jin Chan's Arhat clone technique was broken. How is that possible? All of Jin Chan's clones dissolved in one strike, and Chang'e continued using his ultimate technique to strike at Jin Chan's real body, forcing him to retreat. Jin Chan was stunned, thinking, just now it was. Chang'e raised his fist towards Jin Chan and said, if brother Jin Chan doesn't show his true strength, you're going to lose. Jin Chan continued to ponder Chang'e's move, reincarnation power. He recalled the moment when Chang'e used a powerful ultimate technique, instantly destroying all the clones. Jin Chan thought, in an instant, my clones seem to be frozen in time. He even made dozens of moves. Jin Chan clasped his hands together, and a golden Buddha appeared behind him. He thought to himself, if we're at close range, the sealing spell won't work. I can only. Jin Chan used the power of Buddha to directly attack Chang'e. Just as the Buddha's palm was about to strike, Chang'e used another ultimate technique, shouting, very good. In an instant, the Buddha's power was shattered by Chang'e. He thought to himself proudly, with the added attack power of the White Tiger Genjin, my sword god, I can defeat gods, and even Buddha. Jin Chan seemed to have exhausted all his magical tools. He sighed and said, I lost. Jin Chan is no match for Chang'e. Chang'e accepted the result with satisfaction. The onlookers couldn't help but exclaim, Jin Chan lost. So fast. Chang'e is so powerful. They are both top 10 experts, but there's such a huge gap. Ziyang watched everything from a distance, and he thought with worry, Gu Chang'e is too dangerous. Even if I intervene, I'm afraid I wouldn't have much chance. I must find a way to warn Dao Xian Shimi. He looked at the helpless expressions of the surrounding audience, thinking, this person, so strong and confident. It's not unreasonable, he is the only heir suppressed by Yu Tianjiao. Jin Chan and Chang'e slowly landed. The crowd shouted Chang'e's name, Chang'e. Chang'e is mighty. Ming Kong glanced at Chang'e and said, poor Jin Chan. He became your stepping stone. Chang'e smugly replied, to survive after fighting with me, he's lucky, don't you think? Shan Jing was still dizzy from the kick earlier. He held his pain and cried, while Jin Chan sighed and comforted him. Ming Kong returned to his residence, feeling restless, his mind full of doubts. Sure enough, Qing Xiaoyi has joined the True Immortal Academy. In the previous life, she was called the Immortal Demon Body, Qingyi Immortal. Ming Kong gently stroked his chin and thought, but after she became a true immortal, she suddenly disappeared. She must have been harmed. I don't care about her end, but if I remember correctly, what I care about more is the vase her brother holds, the Palm Heaven vase, one of the 7 great Palm Heaven artifacts. The 7 great palm heaven artifacts, possessing unmatched power, are hidden somewhere in the world. It is said that these 7 artifacts are the keys left by the immortal palace. She took out 2 heavenly 7 sticks, and Ming Kong coldly looked at them, thinking, now I already have 2, I must get the Libra stick as well. The scene from 3 days ago when the True Immortal Academy closed played out. A voice asked, name. Immediately, someone responded, Gu Xiener. It was Elder Wang asking, and he looked at Gu Xiener and continued, are you Xiener from the Chongqing family? Xiener widened her eyes in surprise and asked, do you know me? The people behind her were also surprised to see Xiener there, exclaiming, Gu Xiener. She is Gu Xiener. Elder Wang chuckled and said, I know Gu Chang'e, no need to guess, you can go in. People in the distance started discussing when they heard Xiener's name, she is the younger sister of Chang'e young master. I think she's just a cousin. I heard that recently, Chang'e young master has been waiting outside for Princess Ming Kong, after all, she's his fiancée. Xiener tightly closed her eyes, feeling displeased. While handing food to the Qin Gu, she said, what does he mean? He welcomes Sister Ming Kong but not me. Is the wife precious and the sister unimportant? Suddenly, someone approached Xiener and said, I am Song Fan. I was curious when I saw junior sister. I wonder if I could have the honor to meet you. Xiener froze for a moment, realizing it was Song Fan. He, along with 2 other disciples, approached Xiener, obviously with ill intentions. He said, why don't you answer? Do you look down on me, Song? One of his disciples interjected, junior sister is new here, she should learn some rules. For example, here, you must listen to senior brother Song. A trace of disdain flashed in Xiener's eyes as she replied, you guys. I think you're just a bunch of stubborn old fools. De Qing suddenly spoke, go look for dung. Xiener smacked her lips and responded, De Qing, the outhouse is over there, with a lantern lit. Song Fan and his disciples were enraged by Xiener's words and immediately made a move. Song Fan shouted, attack. Teach her a lesson. One of his disciples sneered, this ignorant little girl, will make her understand the cruelty of the True Immortal Academy. The 2 of them simultaneously activated their magical tools to attack Xiener, shouting, this little girl needs a lesson. Suddenly, a purple energy descended, blocking the 2 disciples' attack. An angry shout rang out, how dare you? It was Zi Yang. He landed lightly and said indifferently, how can you be so arrogant in broad daylight? Did you come to the True Immortal Academy to bully your fellow disciples? Xiener silently watched. Zi Yang looked around at Song Fan and his companions. With disdain, then said, you're tarnishing the reputation of the True Immortal Academy, embarrassing our disciples. Seeing Zi Yang, Song Fan and the others turned pale with fear, exclaiming in terror, Zi Yang Tianjun. He is ranked 10th on the list, how could he be here? Quickly apologize. The 3 immediately knelt and kowtowed, begging for mercy, please, Zi Yang Tianjun, spare us. We won't dare again. We won't bully junior sister anymore. Spare us. Zi Yang chuckled lightly, turned to Xiener, and asked with concern, junior sister, are you all right? Xiener crossed her arms and confidently replied, I'm fine. I don't need your help, I can handle it myself. Zi Yang suddenly laughed loudly, saying, you're so confident, does that mean I'm unnecessary? I'm Zi Yang, descendant of the Purple Mansion. I don't know how to address junior sister. Xiener wondered to herself, why does everyone at the academy always ask for names? It feels strange. Zi Yang smiled bitterly and said, if junior sister doesn't want to tell me, that's fine, I respect you. However, he thought to himself, as expected, she's still such a cold Taoist disciple. He turned to face the 3 and waved his sleeve, angrily reprimanding them, if I hadn't been passing by, you would have made a big mistake. Today. Enough. Don't let this happen again. Scram. The 3 nodded repeatedly, yes. Yes. Thank you, Ziyang Tianjun, we won't do it again. As they stood up, an eerie smile appeared on their faces. Suddenly, a low voice rang out, hold on. The three, drenched in cold sweat, saw someone standing in front of them. Gu Changge had appeared. He said indifferently, did I allow you to leave? They stammered in fear, Gu Changge. Changge looked around at everyone and calmly said, oh. Looks like you know me. Ziyang broke into a cold sweat, seemingly worried about Changge's appearance, thinking to himself, this is bad. Xiener smiled slightly from behind, thinking, Gu Changge. Isn't he here to pick me up? Changge placed his hands behind his back and questioned Song Fan and his companions, you want to teach this girl a lesson? But she is my sister, do you know that? Song Fan trembled and answered, I didn't recognize the mountain. Now I understand. Another person quickly added, Changge young master. It was just a misunderstanding. Song Fan was sweating profusely. Changge smiled faintly and said, misunderstanding? Then tell me, how do you plan to die? Song Fan was terrified, die? Isn't that too much? Ziyang turned to Changge and said, Changge young master, they only spoke arrogantly, they didn't actually harm Junior Sister Xiener. It's not enough to sentence them to death. I've already punished them. Changge replied calmly, punished? But I see their breathing is steady, they don't look injured. Xiener simply stood by and watched silently. Ziyang forced a smile and said, Big brother, we are all disciples of the academy, we should understand each other. How about doing me a favor? Suddenly, the atmosphere around them became tense. Changge coldly stared at Ziyang and said, do you want me to do you a favor? Who dares to accept it? Changge directly pointed at the three people and circulated his energy, and three sword auras appeared in front of Song Fan and his companions. Song Fan trembled in fear, shouting loudly, Purple Sun Lord, save me. I don't want to die. This has nothing to do with me, it was all arranged by Purple Sun Lord. Purple Sun's face turned ashen, and he immediately defended, a bunch of nonsense. I was speaking kindly for you, and now you want to throw dirt on my name before dying. Changge launched an attack, and all three of them received his blow. He coldly said, Purple Sun Lord pleaded for mercy, but you falsely accused him. You truly deserve to die. The surrounding crowd discussed in fear, this Song Fan, I remember he just recently leveled up on the rankings. Yet he didn't even have a chance to strike. They deserve it, they provoked someone they shouldn't have. Purple Sun remained silent, and Tian and I finally spoke, Gu Changge, this is the true Immortal Academy. How can you, before she finished, Changge interrupted, shut up. He slightly turned his head to look at Tian and I, faintly saying, there is already a precedent. In the future, those people should remember, don't get too close to Tian and I again. Changge reached out and poked the big blue creature, provoking its fury. The two ignored Purple Sun and walked away. Tian and I asked, why do you always bully him? Purple Sun thought for a moment and replied, before I'm sure of victory, I can't act rashly. He then clasped his hands together and calmly said, it's also thanks to Gu Changge cleaning up those scum from Xian, or I'd have to personally deal with them later. Changge said, oh, and laughed, so Purple Sun Lord thinks the same, then I can rest assured. The scene shifted to inside the academy, where many books were floating in the air. The black-haired elder, holding a teacup, commented, though Purple Sun Lord is the top of the younger generation in the upper realm, he was defeated by the golden cicada, making him wary of Gu Changge. Even when provoked today, he didn't act, truly worthy of being the heir of the Purple Palace. Another elder responded, speaking of which, Gu Changge is so radiant. Does he really believe he can suppress all the geniuses in the world? Senior, what do you think? A man with lavender long hair was flipping through a book and said indifferently, this kid acts arrogantly, but he hasn't suffered any losses. It's as if everything is part of his plan. If someone can make him suffer, I'd love to see it. Tian and I and Changgu walked side by side down the academy's long corridor. Tian and I asked, did you just kill them like that? Won't the elders of the academy have any objections? Changgu replied, what do you think this place is? The true Immortal Academy cultivates top-tier powerhouses, not a retirement home. Changgu glanced at Tian and I, who looked a bit shy, and continued, are you really that naive or pretending to be? Can't you see? That Purple Sun Lord has bad intentions. Tian and I answered, of course I saw it. That guy is scheming even when blinking. She pointed at Changgu and continued, just like you, it's obvious you're not a good person. Changgu helplessly said, the last sentence was totally unnecessary. She gently rested her finger on her chin, puzzled, and asked, but why did he arrange this play? I've never met him before. Changgu pondered for a moment, then said to Tian and I, right now, I don't know either, but you should remember. That guy isn't easy to deal with. Maybe he just wants to flatter you and marry into the Gu family. Tian and I lightly patted Changgu on the shoulder and smiled, Gu Changgu, don't worry, I don't care for him. Changgu casually said, you're really overestimating yourself. Purple Sun Lord might be using you to achieve his goals. If you think about it carefully, he might want to use you to deal with me. Tian and I suddenly fell silent, staring at Changgu. He then said, do you really think I acted for you? Tian and I suddenly stood on tiptoe. Kissed Changji's face, then shyly covered her face and ran off, saying, you, don't think too much. I just lost my memory. Changgu was stunned for a moment, then absent-mindedly touched his face. Watching Tian knees back, he muttered, idiot. He thought to himself, Purple Sun Lord, how should I kill you? Changgu leisurely looked up at the sky, where a group of powerful beings were speeding ahead. Changgu thought, the true Immortal Academy, the magical stones are about to emerge, attracting so many people, even those old geezers aren't exceptions. He continued thinking, for me, this is a perfect opportunity. Right now, the true Immortal Academy is the perfect place for mischief. Changgu smiled faintly and secretly thought, Yin Xiang, Gu is preparing a great gift for you. At this moment, various experts had gathered together, all releasing powerful auras. Someone exclaimed, look, that's the 9 Heavens magical stone. It has been nurtured in the academy for countless years, and it's said to be about to emerge. A piece of green jade emitting powerful energy was placed beneath a waterfall, and someone commented, it fell from the 9 heavens. Could it really be from the true immortal bloodline? The immortal empress appeared, dressed in a phoenix robe, extremely eye-catching, with the divine prince following her. He spoke, all are on the top 10 list, how does the princess view the 9 heavens mystic stone? She replied, I can't see through it, it's very mysterious. The divine prince asked again, I've heard the princess is the reincarnation of the immortal emperor. Can't even see through this stone. She responded indifferently, the divine prince is more leisurely than I thought. A great event happened at Tianhuang Mountain, and you still have the time to watch the spectacle. He seemed angered and replied, oh. He frowned, displeased, and said, that waste, Yin Xiang, who rebelled and left the capital, but I will personally clear the way, no need for the princess to worry. Suddenly, a beam of light blossomed before the waterfall, and someone floated in the air. The crowd respectfully said, greetings, Star Ancestor. That must be the Star Ancestor. The young girl, with a delicate figure, calmly said, no need for such formalities. The crowd was dumbfounded, discussing, could this be? One person exclaimed, she's older than 80% of the elders. Someone immediately corrected, shoo. Don't talk about a woman's age, do you want to die? The Star Ancestor slowly landed, her feet glowing with golden light. She slightly lowered her head and said, greetings, Stone Elder. The Stone Elder responded, Star, it's been many years since I last saw you, and you look even younger now. She politely lowered her head and then said, Stone Elder, don't tease me, you know this body of mine, it's really beyond my power. The star ancestor looked back at the mystic stone and softly said, "Today, the mystic stone will soon appear." Stone Elder, have you glimpsed any clues? The Stone Elder replied, "I'm ashamed to say, this mystic stone and I share the same origin, but I still don't know its history." An old man suddenly exclaimed, "Look, the mystic stone is finally stirring." Another person was also surprised, "It's cracking." The mystic stone gradually cracked, and a vast force erupted from its core. The Stone Elder murmured, "Perhaps, it is related to immortals. The disturbance of its appearance is truly shocking. Could it really be an immortal?" A tremendous force erupted from the sky, and everyone looked up. The Stone Elder continued, "But in terms of the disturbance of appearance, the most shocking is still the King family's heavenly maiden. This matter was only recently revealed by the Chongqing King family, it was previously deeply concealed." Suddenly, a hand emerged from that force, accompanied by a soft laugh, "The familiar spiritual energy of heaven and earth, I have finally left the torturous nine heavens ghost realm." A young man dressed in red descended from the sky, laughing, "I have finally appeared, it feels so good to bask in the sunlight. I wonder how long it's been since I was in the outside world." The Stone Elder looked at him, puzzled, A human?" The star ancestor also frowned, "And his cultivation is only at the heavenly god realm." The elder of the True Immortal Academy couldn't help but ask, "May I ask where you are from, young friend? Why have you been trapped inside the nine heavens mystic stone?" He answered, "Me. I have no name, just an ordinary cultivator, nothing special." The young man pointed to the mystic stone and smiled, "But if you ask about this stone, its existence has been for a long time, so long, it's almost unbearable. There was a time when I was still out training." In his memories, he said, "At that time, I was just cultivating as usual." He continued, "Then, the ground suddenly cracked open, and I fell into the abyss. Later, I discovered an immortal fate stone. Out of curiosity, I reached out to touch it." He said, "In an instant, I was sealed within it." The young man stared blankly at the elder and asked, "So, may I ask what year is it now?" The crowd immediately started discussing, "What? There is no immortal inside the mystic stone, just a ragged young man." Others clicked their tongues, "Really disappointing. A heavenly god realm cultivator, why is he on the top 10 list? This kid." But the Stone Elder said, "No, it's not that simple. This kid is hiding something." The star ancestor also added, It seems we should take him back first and ask further." The young man scratched his head, showing a carefree smile. He really was a completely harmless person. He suddenly remembered the figures of 4 people and thought, it can be considered leaving the 9 heavens now. "I wonder how Master, Junior Brother, and Junior Sister are doing." He smiled slightly and continued thinking, "Qin Wuyun, I'm back." Back at Changa's side, he said, "A heavenly god realm cultivator. It attracted so many people to watch, but it's only a heavenly god realm." Wana knelt and reported to Changa, "Yes, it seems the elders were also disappointed. But they still took him away." She continued, "Also, there is another matter, a genius named Chu Lufeng was devoured by the demon art. The elders have been busy all day, not expecting that the successor of the demon art also arrived at the academy today." Changa was surprised and said, "Oh. There's such a thing." He turned his head slightly and smiled, "Then I'll go help the elders ease their boredom." A flaming carriage was driving through the azure sky. The divine prince sat in the carriage and said, "Ing Shuang was once a disciple of my heavenly emperor mountain, but now he practices forbidden demonic arts and has betrayed heavenly emperor mountain. I must find him and restore peace to this world." He continued, "He has fallen into the demon path, and he deserves to die." Ing Yu sat beside him, suppressed her expression, and replied softly, "I understand. If I meet him again, I won't show mercy." The divine prince responded, "It's good that you understand. I don't want to clean up after him twice." Ing Yu nodded in agreement. The carriage arrived at the True Immortal Academy. As soon as they arrived, they heard a lot of discussions. I didn't expect the successor of the demon art to be so bold, daring to sneak into the true immortal academy. How did he hide his aura? He deserves to die. Another person said, yes. Young Master Chang'e, this person is extremely cunning. The elders can't catch him. Do you have a solution? The Divine Prince, upon hearing this, asked, what's going on down there? Why is it so noisy? Yu looked down and smiled, it's young Master Gu. The Divine Prince frowned upon hearing this, Gu Chang'e. I didn't expect him to be someone who likes to cause trouble. He thought to himself, I must find Ing Shuang first. Gu Chang'e, don't think you can overshadow me. The situation below was very lively. Chang'e said loudly, everyone please rest assured, I, Gu, will cooperate with the elders to quickly find this person's whereabouts, bring justice to the victim, and restore peace to the academy. Everyone happily said, indeed, young Master Chang'e is truly the son of the true immortal, with him here, we can feel at ease. A group of girls blushed slightly, smiling brightly. One girl praised, yes, if we could stay in the same room as young Master Chang'e, it would be even more reassuring. Another girl said, are you crazy? Princess Mingkong is still in the academy, what makes you think you can compete with her? The girl in red confidently answered, because I am charming. The scene shifted to another place, where a shout was heard in the academy, this time, you were really too reckless. Just arrived at the academy, and you dared to act so arrogantly. In a room, old Mo pointed at Ing Shuang, who was meditating, and angrily scolded, what if you're discovered? Don't forget, there are terrifying existences in the academy, like the Grand Elder of the Dao Tian Immortal Palace. Killing me is like killing a chicken, let alone you. Ing Shuang helplessly said, Old Mo, please rest assured, I'm aware. Old Mo turned his back and left, saying, then be careful, don't be too arrogant. Thanks to you, I've been very busy. After Old Mo left the room, Ing Shuang thought to himself, if I admit now that I'm not the successor, Old Mo might take care of me first. Damn it, I actually escaped to the true immortal academy. He furrowed his brow and continued thinking, now he even wants to frame me. On the other side, Qin Wuyun sighed in relief, and after walking out of the room, said, they really asked detailed questions. He thought to himself, however, I've gotten quite a bit of useful information. After Qin Wuyun had taken a few steps, someone approached him. The person said, senior brother. Wuyun asked, you are? Oh, it's Xiang. The person continued, senior brother, I'm Xiao Yang, do you remember? Qin Wuyun was stunned for a moment, then exclaimed, junior brother. How? The scene shifted to another place. The first scene was of disciples in the academy listening to an elder preaching, the Tao that can be spoken of is not the eternal Tao, the name that can be named is not the eternal name. The name is not eternal, like the yellow in the air. At this moment, Gu Chang'e sat with a bored expression and thought, listening to this elder's preaching, it's so boring, I'm about to fall asleep. The Grand Elder speaks much more interestingly. At this time, Princess Mingkong sitting beside him moved slightly, curiously looking at Gu Chang'e and asked, Chang'e, why is the person from the successor hall staring at you? Gu Chang'e casually smiled and replied, with a hint of narcissism, what's so strange about that? It's because I'm so handsome. Mingkong coldly responded, but the way she looks at you seems like she has some deep blood feud with you. Gu Chang'e responded indifferently, oh. Maybe she's figured out my identity and is thinking about how to expose me. Jiang Chuchu stared at Gu Chang'e and Yu Mingkong with killing intent in her eyes. Turning to Chang'e and Mingkong, Gu Chang'e smiled narcissistically and said to Yu Mingkong, is Mingkong concerned about me? Since the ancestral spirit has disappeared, there's no need to worry about a mere successor. Yu Mingkong coldly responded, is that so? I just thought that look was a bit complicated. Perhaps it was you. Chang'e, upon hearing this, smiled and asked, could it be that Mingkong is worried about the unclear relationship between me and her? Yu Mingkong, feeling awkward, answered, that's not it. Seeing her reaction, Gu Chang'e thought he guessed correctly and explained, don't worry, the other person is the successor of the electric ancestor. I wouldn't have the ability to deal with her. Yu Mingkong, hearing this, became irritated and replied, is that so? Chang'e, hearing her words, smiled like a blooming flower and said, then what else could it be? On Jiang Chuchu's side, Wang Ziqin curiously looked at her and asked, what's wrong? Jiang Chuchu's face darkened, gritting her teeth.